We've got 15 of the most upvoted best of Redditor updates stories for you guys today for the month of January 2025. These stories were chosen by Reddit as the best stories of the month, so I thought I'd compile it into one video for you. Now, as you guys know, in this series, it's impossible to do it without repeat stories being in these videos. However, 6 of the 15 stories are brand new. They're all timestamped below, and combined, they make up about an hour and 11 minutes of this video. So I basically read a brand new video for you guys. You just have to do a little bit of sifting around for it. So if you just want the new stories, feel free to hop around, or if you want to just enjoy this 3-hour video of juicy stories and you don't mind re-listening to the old ones, this video's for you. As always, chat, let's lock in here and read some Reddit. Need a fake kid to piss off my wife. Original post December 21st, 2024. My wife and I are watching Elf together, and we saw the part where Buddy, Will Ferrell's real dad, James Caan, tells his wife about Buddy. And his wife, Mary Steenburgen, gets excited about this surprise adult kid that pops into their life from a time before they knew each other. I pointed out to my wife that it's a little unbelievable that she would immediately be on board. I then comment that she, my wife, would actually be mad at me in this situation, even if I genuinely did not know this kid existed and it was conceived before I met her. She denies it, but I know my wife. We're in our early 40s and we've been married 10 years, together for 12. So I need a 20-ish kid to knock on the door and tell me they're my kid and that they just wanted to meet me. Gotta be convincing and really talk about how your mom and I were once really happy before she died of something tragic. Dealer's choice. Job pays $100. Gender, race, etc. don't matter so long as you can pass for early 20s. Shouldn't take more than an hour of conversation, then you get a call or something and have to leave. Want to do this soon after the new year. You come up with the backstory and I'll play along. I'll give you a little info up front after you take the job. The edits are just, holy cow, I have several interested potential fake offspring. I am no longer taking applications. Did not expect so many willing people. I'll post the winning candidate in the coming days. Edit 2. It looks like I not only have a potential fake kid, but the kid could actually pass as genetically me. I will post an update post after in the first week of January, hopefully not from a shelter. Chat, as cruel as this is, I'm kind of down to see where this goes. Like, in no certain terms would I ever recommend this. As a third-party person who isn't affected by this, I want to know. If this were like a friend of mine, I'd be like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? That's ridiculous. Definite, you're the a-hole, but bro is funny. Paladin, that's exactly how I feel. I'm like, listen, man, you might be a dickhead for this experiment. That being said, I'm so down to see where this goes. There are some bits that need to be played out solely for the fact of being able to say that they played out. I'm actually very curious, guys. Same scenario happens to you. Would you be mad or not? I feel like I would not be mad. I would more be like, you fucking idiot. How did you not know? Not really. I mean, I don't want kids, but no. Nah, if it was before our relationship, never. I'd probably laugh. Depends on how our relationship is at the moment. That's a hot take, Joy, actually. If it's an adult kid, I don't care. Okay, that's a good point, Ryuma. I kind of agree with that. If it's an adult kid, that's very different from like a kid. I would low-key crash out, but it's not the worst thing. Okay, Dream. I would only be mad if the person actually knew about the kid and simply didn't care. Me too, Felix. Me too. Fake kid pissed wife. Epilogue, January 6th, 2025. So to the very dramatic naysayers, one of which compared my prank to spousal abuse, several diagnosed me with a number of mental illnesses, and at least as many said I was childish and cruel. To you, I say, you're probably right. However, Nana Nana Boo Boo, stick your head in doo-doo. All right, listen, we could debate about spousal abuse and mental illness. I think it's pretty safe to say he's childish and cruel. That being said, I'm also childish and cruel. I'm so down to see where this goes. We've been married a decade. We know each other well enough to know what's over the line and what's funny. That said, it was harder than I thought to secure a fake child. Sure, I had a large number of interested parties and even a couple of fabulous candidates, one of which actually looked enough like me that I started wondering if one of you got to my wife and were pulling the ultimate Uno reverse card on my prank. Unfortunately, interested and committed are two very different things. Multiple potential sons and daughters made it to the planning stage and found one reason or another to bail out. Let me be clear. I do not blame these folks at all. I don't think I would have the courage to send the first DM, let alone actually go through with the prank orchestrated by a complete stranger. But I did find a suitable actor with the courage to come through, and I still think it was money well spent. So here's a synopsis of how it played out. No, there's not a video. Saturday afternoon, my doorbell rang. My dog lost his mind as he is one to do, and my wife answered the door since I had pretended to take a call moments earlier. My son, looking to be about 20 to 25, taller and better looking than I, asked if I was home. My wife motioned to me. I had conveniently just ended my fake phone call, and I came to the door. My son, who even shared my first name, his idea, not mine, said he had something kind of strange to talk to me about. I asked if he wanted to come in, which literally almost blew the whole thing because I would sooner saw off my own foot than invite people in my house. But my wife didn't think much of it. We came to the living room. I offered him a drink. He declined. My son is an excellent actor, by the way. He would later say it was the anxiety of the situation and not wanting to mess up that made his nervous demeanor so convincing. This is from memory, but it's pretty much everything. I'll let my son chime in with details should he feel like outing himself. Fake son, do you remember old ex-girlfriend I mentioned at least once in my 10-year marriage in front of my wife? OP, yeah. Fake son, that's my mother. It was my wife who reacted first with, oh, no way. So I look at her, feigning ignorance, and then back at my son, and OP says, is she okay? Fake son, yeah, she's fine. That's not why I'm here. My wife was nearly busting out of her chair, totally engrossed and completely consumed with two strong theories. One, her husband had a long-lost son, and more importantly, two, her husband hasn't figured out yet that he has a long-lost son. So OP says, out with it, kid. What's going on? Fake son, I'm 22 years old. My wife's eyes essentially bugged out of her head, having now confirmed her theories in her mind. She looks at me, seemingly annoyed that I hadn't put these obvious puzzle pieces together, and interrupts my fake kid. Nearly laughed, but I held it together. OP's wife, I think he's telling you that he thinks you're his father. My acting is not so great, but I gave it a shot with, wait, what? My look of shock could use some work, but it played for the audience. My son looked at me. Fake son, she's right, and I'm not here to ask for anything. In fact, I don't have a lot of time to stay, but I just wanted to meet you and maybe exchange numbers. OP, this is a lot to take in. I knew your mother a long time ago, and she never said, I didn't know. Fake son, I'm paraphrasing, but this kid deserves an Oscar. She never told you. She only told me on Christmas morning. She didn't say anything bad about you, just that it was over and she was already dating my dad when she found out she was pregnant with me. OP, wait, does your dad know? Fake son, of course, and I've always known he wasn't my biological father. He's a great dad, but lately I'd been wondering who my real father was, so I asked my mom and she told me. OP, wow, I freely admit I had the easy part. This is so elaborate, bro. Like, they really built out this backstory. I think the detailed backstory is what does it for me, chat. OP's wife didn't say anything, but was just taking it all in. Not much else to tell in terms of the production. We exchanged numbers, then he got his own fake phone call reminding him he was late for something or other, and I walked him out. The rest of the production was just my wife and I. I came back to the living room doing my best bewildered act. We talked about it, covered things like paternity tests, etc., and it turns out I was way wrong. My wife wasn't mad, miffed, or even slightly annoyed. She was full on amazed, excited, and entertained by the whole thing. I waited a few hours before I fessed up, but before I did, she kept saying how cool it was that I might have a son. And then when I told her it was all a bullshit lie I made up to prove a point, she laughed a lot. I can't decide what amused her more, the effort I put into the ruse or the fact that I ended up proving her right in the process. Here are a couple of gems from the wife after I told her the truth. Where the hell did you find that guy? I'm glad your son wasn't a serial killer. I might have been mad if he came here looking for money. Next time, you can save $100 and just assume you're wrong. Yo, that is a fire clapback. Was the prank maybe a little cruel, a little bit childish? Sure, but I'm so glad that he understood that the wife wouldn't freak the fuck out and that the wife had a positive reaction. You know I'm going to get you back, right? Hey, I love that. The last one has me a little worried. Smiley face. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yo, I fucking love that one, chat. Great relationship dynamic. No, for real. Like, if I feel like I couldn't pull some like shit like that with my wife, I don't know if I'd want to be in that relationship. relationship. Like, that's so fun. Dad won't spend Christmas with brother-in-law, and mom is blaming my wife. We have a 62 male dad, a 28 male brother-in-law, a mom who is 60 female, and the wife who is 36 female. And this story does have a new update. Original post, November 12th, 2024. I, 36 female, am married to the love of my life, 36 female, K. We met when we were 17. She was out and proud whilst I was still in the closet, so we didn't start dating until I came out at 21. We got married in 2019 and have an adopted 4-year-old son, Jack. This comes relevant in a minute. My sister, 27 female, Sarah, has a long-term boyfriend, 28 male, Steve, who the family cannot stand. They've been together for 8 years, and the whole family has hated him from the first time we met him. He is rude, obnoxious, arrogant, and all in all, a crappy human being. He's also someone that likes to claim that he is just honest. But if someone is honest back to him, he flips out and sulks like a toddler. In fact, my toddler is better behaved than him. He isn't abusive to Sarah and doesn't direct these comments towards her. It's just the rest of us. He's actually a good partner to her and treats her well, which is his one redeeming quality. My dad and Kay hate him the most, and I will do anything to avoid him at family gatherings. Kay usually just ignores him and brushes off anything he says to her as she doesn't like conflict. However, there have been a few occasions that she has said something back, but it's usually said in a joking manner, which amuses my dad to no end. My mom is a peacekeeper and will do anything to avoid drama, so she just changes the topic whenever he starts, but she and my grandparents all hate him just as much as the rest of us. Sarah is the only one that obviously doesn't hate him. Our son's birth mother, Tess, was Kay's best friend, who sadly died in 2021. This was a real shock as she had an underlying heart condition that she didn't know about and simply went to sleep one night and never woke up. Jack had been left alone in his cot all day screaming for his mom before Kay got worried that Tess wasn't answering her texts and went over to her house to see if she was okay. She found Jack in his cot and Tess in her bed. We adopted Jack as no one in Tess's family was in the position to take him in. We raised him as our own, but he knows who Tess is. Obviously, this is a very sensitive topic for Kay, as it was so traumatic for her and Jack. Now, on to what happened last weekend. It was the anniversary of Tess's death on Saturday, so Kay, Jack, and I went to visit her grave. Kay is always quiet after going to see her, and this time of year is especially hard for her. On Sunday, we had a family gathering at my parents' house. These happen every couple months as just a catch-up for everyone. At first, nothing was out of the ordinary. Kay and my dad were off to the side talking as usual, only I could see that Kay was obviously struggling, so my dad and her went for a walk so she could clear her head. This is something they have done before, so nothing too unusual. However, Steve had an issue with this and asked why they had left and why he wasn't invited to walk with them. I explained that about Tess, and Kay just needed a minute. This wasn't good enough for Steve though, and he said she should have gotten over it by now. At this, my granddad, who is naturally a very quiet guy, said that his best friend had died over 20 years ago, and he still had days where he missed him so much it hurt. You don't just get over something like that. Steve shut at that. Kay and my dad got back and she was in a much better mood. We all sat down at the table for our late lunch and started chatting. Everything was fine at first until Steve started trying to butt into Kay's conversation with my granddad. When it was obvious that they weren't going to include him, he very loudly stated, "This is bullshit. She's getting all the attention of everyone because her friend died 3 fucking years ago. Get over it for fuck's sake. We're all so sick of hearing about it." The whole table went silent and I took one look at Kay and knew she was about to go off on Steve. Only it didn't happen the way I thought. Rather than exploding at him, she looked at him very calmly and said that her and granddad weren't talking about Tess. They were making plans to take him to Christmas markets, but if he wanted to be a dick, then no problem. She then went on to say to him that everyone in the family hates him because he's a toxic, narcissistic fuckwad, that whenever he can't come to a family gathering, the whole family is much happier, that there's a reason he has no friends and that his own family can't stand to be around him. That reason is that he's rotten from the inside out and that Tess may have only been on this planet for 32 years, but she made a bigger impact on people than he would have if he lived until he was 150. That her funeral was rammed with people because she was so loved, whereas he'd be lucky if anyone other than Sarah was at his. Yo, she fucking ate, chat. She swallowed him whole and shit him out in the backyard. Because, oh my God. Can you imagine being at the in-laws and getting absolutely clapped like this? Like, bro, you got to go into retirement now. After that, she got up and went to the back garden and I followed her. A few minutes later, my dad came out and said that he told Sarah and Steve to leave. We went back inside and Kay apologized to everyone and said she should have just kept her mouth shut. Everyone other than my mom told her that what she had done was right and it was about time someone told him. My dad then found it hilarious that a lesbian had been the one to tell him straight, which lightened the mood a lot. We spent the rest of the afternoon there before going to pick Jack up from Kay's mom's house as she had had him overnight on Saturday for us. The reason I'm making this post is that yesterday I got a call from Sarah saying that her and Steve wanted an apology from Kay or they weren't going to Christmas. When I reminded her that we wouldn't be at Christmas either as it's our year to spend it with Kay's mom, so it made no difference to us, she got really upset saying that she wanted an apology because Kay was way out of line. I said she wasn't and that I wouldn't even contemplate asking her to apologize because I agreed with everything she said, and so did everyone else there. She ended the call and I just went back to work. Then today, my dad called me and asked if Kay's mom would mind a few more for Christmas as he was refusing to spend it with Steve. So he and my granddad needed somewhere else to go. Apparently, after Sarah had called me, she called mom and started ranting. And my mom had told my dad to get Kay to apologize, which he said no to. And they had an argument and my dad has now decided that he's done with Steve, even if that affects his relationship with Sarah. He's not having it anymore. My mom wants Sarah there and she won't go without Steve, so my dad is going somewhere else and my granddad agreed with him. I text Kay's mom and she said they were welcome, so now my mom is furious and saying that my dad and Kay are ripping the family apart. So basically this has turned into a shit show. Kay has said she will apologize if I want her to, just to keep the peace, but I've told her no way. Everything she said was true. I just don't know where to go from here. And the people in my life all hate Steve that much that Kay could have physically attacked him and they would all still think she's in the right. So that's why I'm asking internet strangers who might have had to deal with difficult family members, what can we do to get into a place where we can all be around each other amicably? I'm struggling to see a way right now. I mean, fuck, bro, have an intervention for Sarah? Dude, that would be fucking embarrassing if my partner told my sister's partner to shut the fuck up about anything, let alone her dead friend. I would have kicked her out and told her to pack up her things because we were over at that moment. I think the only thing you can do is go no contact with Sarah, bro. Good riddance. If she supports a man like this, like she's hopeless. Chat, what's the shape of Italy? The boot. Both of them. Give him the boot. Sarah, do you have no standards? He can't be that good in bed. Yeah, bro. The dick must be incredible if she's putting up with this shit. Let me see if any of these comments are relevant real quick. OOP did respond to a comment saying, if it was just Sarah upset, then I wouldn't care, but it's my mom. She tries so hard to keep the whole family together and she is devastated by what's going on. If it wasn't for her, then Sarah could go take a running jump for all I care right now. I mean, shit, I don't know how it is with the mom. I would maybe talk to the mom then. The keep the peace mentality is just such a stupid mentality to have. Keeping the peace does nothing but build resentment and anger within the family. Let's in theory all keep the peace. It's not like everyone's walking in their hunky-dory fucking forgetting what Steve said to Kay. No, everybody's walking in there and they're like an inch away from starting a brawl. There is no keeping the peace. Keeping the peace doesn't exist because everybody in their head is very angry at each other. So here's a tidbit from OP about Sarah. This is the issue that Steve and Sarah don't see anything wrong in what he's done. It was just him being honest. I would be happier for her to apologize if Steve and Sarah admitted that what he said was in the wrong as well. Without that, I'm being stubborn about it. My dad told Kay he will fall out with her if she apologizes as she did nothing wrong. There was no screaming or shouting. She said it very calmly. I feel like I'm stuck between making my mom happy and doing what I believe is right. To another commenter, my sister doesn't see anything wrong in what he says as he's just being honest, but loses it when someone's honest back. I don't understand her anymore. I mean, but he wasn't being honest. Get over it for fuck's sake. We're all sick of hearing about it. It doesn't sound like anybody else at the table was sick about, like, you know, like, what he should have said is, I'm sick of it. I'm a little fucking whiny baby who wants all the attention. Give me attention. If he would have said that, yeah, he was being honest. More info on the mom, take the high road and rise above it have been two of my mom's favorite things to say to us over the years. I just feel like enough is enough. He crossed the line this time that he can't come back from. I especially don't want my son around him when he's saying things like that about Tess. To another commenter, if I hear my mom say take the high road one more time, I'm gonna scream. I'm sick of the high road. I've been on it for 8 years. I'm happy on the low road now. Later that day, OOP, well, I've just found out that my granny and pa, my mom's parents, are going to my uncle's for Christmas, and Steve is not invited. So it looks like it's going to just be Mom, Sarah, and Steve for Christmas this year. Good, bro. Let them keep the peace together. How OOP feels about that? Vindicated. As my mom is like her parents. They're all peacekeepers, and if even they've had enough, then it just shows that he's not just stepped over the line, he's ran right past it. More info on if the mom is invited to the other Christmas. Kay's mom has already told her that if she changes her mind, then she is welcome at her house. Even if it's Christmas morning, she is more than welcome. Obviously, Steve and Sarah aren't invited at all, but it's good that my mom has the option at least. And then one more later reflection, I have realized that he has been trying to target Kay and my dad's relationship as they're very close. They have traveled all over the country visiting class car shows together, which Steve has tried to get in on, but he doesn't know anything about cars, so there's no point in him going, even if they did like him. I actually think he's been trying to push Kay and I out of the family so that he gets my dad to himself, even though my dad can't stand him. I couldn't imagine bringing someone like this into my family, bro. I would be embarrassed, chat. If I knew my family hated the person I was with, it wouldn't last long. How does that not give you an ick? Your fucking boyfriend's like, wee woo, I wish your dad liked me more. Let me try to separate him and his relationship to one of your other siblings. What a man-child. Update post November 20th, 2024, 8 days later. After I wrote my last post, a few things happened in the next couple hours. First thing was that I spoke to my grandparents on my mom's side. They were there when this all happened, but they're like my mom and just constantly try to keep the peace, and that's where she gets it from. They were supposed to be spending Christmas with my mom this year, but had changed their minds and decided to spend it with my uncle instead. They have made the decision to not be around Steve either, as he causes too much drama. They asked if they could come and see us and Jack on the 23rd before they head off to my uncle's, which I happily agreed to. This really surprised me, and it outright shocked my mom, as, like I said, they are the biggest take the high road type people I've ever met, but even they'd had enough. The next thing that happened was my dad called me to let me know that Steve and Sarah had now decided that they want Kay to make a public apology in front of the whole family and admit she was lying, and that the family loves Steve. He was laughing as he told me this and called them delusional, so any small chance of a superficial apology went out the window. I mean, this would be funny to set up and then stage an intervention just for the entire family to be like, fuck Steve, we all hate Steve. The third thing that happened was Jack getting home from after school club with a recorder that I am sorely tempted to shove up the teacher's backside. So all in all, it wasn't a great day. Through talking to people on here, I also realized that Steve has been trying to push Kay and I out of the family, organizing trips that he knows we wouldn't be able to go on. We wouldn't have gone on them anyway, as a weekend away with him sounds worse than a paper cut to the eyeball. And him constantly trying to get my dad away from Kay whenever we are together. I think this is because he is jealous of Kay and dad's relationship, as they are very close and go on trips to classic car shows several times a year together, and usually with my granddad as well. Anyway, things went quiet for a few days until the weekend. Our town has a big Christmas fair that runs from November through December, and we always go to it with mom, dad, granddad, and Kay's mom. We decided to cheer my mom up a bit and go on Sunday and then out for dinner after. My mom was told that if Sarah or Steve showed up, then we would all leave, and she promised they wouldn't be there. Things were a bit awkward at first, but settled after a while. At one point, Jack got my mom and dad to take him on the giant snow slide, and as my mom walked back over to us, she had tears in her eyes. I pulled her to one side to see what was going on, and she said that while waiting in line, Jack had said that he was happy Uncle Steve wasn't here. When my mom asked why, he said that Uncle Steve was a bad man. My mom tried to say that he wasn't, but in typical stubborn 4-year-old fashion, he had argued and said he learned in school that people who say mean things all the time are bad people, and Uncle Steve said mean things all the time, so he was a bad man and that he didn't like him. There had been a case of bullying in his class a few weeks ago, and the teacher had done a lesson on how wrong bullying is, so I think that's where this came from. This finally broke through to my mom. If even a 4-year-old can see what a horrible prick the man is, then she had to as well. She said that she felt stuck because she hated Steve and agreed with everything that Kay has said, but she loves Sarah and doesn't want to isolate her. I told her I would always be there for her, but I wasn't putting myself, Jack, or Kay through being around Steve again, and she needed to think about what she wants. Not what I want, or Dad, or Kay, or Jack, or her parents, or Sarah, or Steve, but what she wants. She went quiet and then said that Kay's mom had told her she was welcome at hers for Christmas if she wanted to, and that she could decide on Christmas Day if she wanted. Kay's mom would save her a plate. I mean, shit, bro. Wake up call when a 4-year-old knows better than you do. We went back to the group, and a little while later, I saw Mom and Kay's mom having a deep discussion whilst walking behind us. Neither will say what they talked about, but Mom seemed a bit happier after their talk. They have also been talking since, as yesterday, my mom told me that she will be coming to Kay's mom's for Christmas, and they've been talking about going shopping together next week. When Mom told Sarah after calling me, Sarah predictably lost her mind and said that Mom was choosing us over her. My mom told her she was choosing to have a good Christmas rather than being belittled and made miserable, all for the sake of Steve and his so-called honesty. Sarah then called me and asked if I was happy that I'd won. She then did the unforgivable and used a few homophobic slurs towards me and Kay and called Jack the bastard of a whore. Y'all, can I get some scissors emojis in chat? Because we need to snip them off, bro. Wow. There are the true colors. I was wondering, I'm sure Steve is probably homophobic as fuck and it's rubbing off on Sarah. You gotta fucking record that and send that to the family group chat because I'm sure they would fucking love to hear that. I ended the call, blocked her everywhere, and then let my family know what had happened and that I never wanted to speak to her again. They're all as appalled as I am, and my Ganny, Mom's mom, called Sarah and apparently told her that she was dead to her as she won't have a bigot in the family. W Ganny, we love to see it. Sarah has been trying to reach out to apologize because she knows she has stepped over the unforgivable line, but I've just kept blocking the fake accounts that she's making on Instagram. Steve tried reaching out to my dad after this, and when he eventually answered, Steve tried to say that Sarah was just angry and didn't mean it. According to Mom, Dad ended up giving him a verbal lashing and told him that he was the worst thing that had ever happened to Sarah and our family. My dad has told Sarah he is disgusted with her, but will be there for her if she leaves Steve. Until then, good luck. Mom has gone low contact as well, but wants to keep the door open so that Sarah isn't completely isolated. I had a few people saying that Steve may be abusive towards Sarah, but I really don't think he is. He usually acts like a dick when the attention isn't on him. He knows that when he says dickish things, then all the attention is on him and he revels in it. After Sarah's outburst, I just think that they're both toxic and feed off each other's toxicity. She lets him get away with the things he says because she gets pleasure out of watching us all bite our tongues and keep quiet. Yeah, you know what? I have to agree with this. I think Sarah has to be somewhat of an evil asshole person because of the things that she said. I'm sure Steve is toxic and manipulative as fuck, but it's very hard to manipulate someone into saying homophobic slurs towards their sister. So Mom's angry, Dad's angry, our 3 grandparents are angry, extended family are angry, and Kay is being my rock, but I can tell she's really angry about what she said towards Jack. I'm just sad and done with it all. At least now I know what she really thinks about Jack, Kay, and myself, so there's that. Not the perfect update, but we move on. It will be nice this Christmas to have both sides of the family together for the first time and not have to worry about Steve being a dick. But I'm sad that this is how my relationship with my sister has ended. I'm trying to get into the Christmas spirit, but it's a tough one right now. The only things that are making me smile are Kay and Jack being goofy idiots to cheer me up. However, the recorder can go to hell. I curse whoever invented the thing. Like, seriously, fuck you. Incredible. Let's get to these comments real quick. I'm glad you'll have a peaceful Christmas in theory. I just think the pair of them are not convinced yet that they are shut out. OOP, it wouldn't surprise me if they try and turn up to my parents for Christmas, but we won't be there, so they won't get far. As long as they stay away from me, Kay, and Jack, then I don't care what they do. I mean, not much to say. I'm glad that the mom came to her senses. That's the only big dub out of this, but I felt like Sarah could have been saved until she said that. And now I'm kind of like, honestly, Sarah can fuck off into eternity and who cares? That's her bed that she made, and honestly, she probably likes the bed at this point. New update post, December 28th, 2024, over 1 month later. This might be a bit anticlimactic, but nothing much has happened. Sarah stopped trying to reach out to me the first week of December after one final message through a mutual friend saying that she loves me and is sorry. My dad has spoken to her once on Christmas Eve to wish her and her alone a Merry Christmas. My mom has spoken to her a few times and had breakfast with her on Christmas Eve, but that's it. As far as I'm aware, Steve and Sarah spent Christmas at their house alone. I do know they went to a party on Boxing Day with one of Sarah's friends, and Steve was on his best behavior according to someone I know who was there. Maybe he's learning, who knows? The fuck is Boxing Day? I'm guessing it's a British thing. Boxing Day is a holiday celebrated on December 26th, the day after Christmas. It originated in the United Kingdom and is celebrated in other Commonwealth countries. Okay, but what is it, bro? What do you do? How do you celebrate it? You do nothing? Then why have it? It's like an extra day of Christmas? All right, I can fucks with that. All right, you know what? Maybe British people are cooking. I did have a few people asking about why Steve and his family don't speak, and after talking to my dad, I found out out that Steve said something to his brother's wife at a family gathering that led to his brother and him having a huge argument that turned physical. After that, Steve's brother refused to have him around himself, his wife, or his kids, so Steve's mom and dad told him he wasn't welcome to family events anymore, and they went very low contact with him. He apparently gets a phone call on his birthday and Christmas, but that's about it. My dad was told this by Sarah, who was there when it happened. As per usual, she tried to downplay the whole thing and say that Steve's family was overreacting. Sounds oddly familiar. We spent Christmas at Kay's mom's house, and my mom, dad, and granddad all came as well. My mom and Kay's mom haven't ever really spent a lot of time together, but they have been recently, and they become good friends, meeting up for lunch and going shopping together a few times. It's a bit of an odd pairing as my mom is very straight-laced, and Kay's mom was a punk when she was younger and now is really into Wicca and natural healing. Seeing my mom dressed in her Sunday best and Kay's mom in her Sex Pistols hoodie is an odd sight, but they get along great, so that's nice. Christmas overall was good, nothing special, just relaxing. Without Steve being around, there was no need to be on edge. Jack was very spoiled and loved every second of it. I'll be honest and say I miss my sister a lot, and part of me really wanted to call her on Christmas Day, but I know I can't have her in my life right now. That's about it, really. All very boring. I still want to launch Jack's recorder into the sun, but he loves it, and his rendition of London's Burning is improving. Listening to 26 4- and 5-year-olds enthusiastically try to play London's Burning on a recorder at the Christmas Nativity play was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. That got the biggest cheer of the night, that's for sure. I hope everyone had a great holiday and has a brill new year. Not the happiest of endings, but I think the best ending that could have happened given the circumstances. Sarah should not be in their life. It makes sense that, hey, if Steve's family can't even fucking deal with him, then why should this family be subject to his shitty behavior? I laughed at my sister's tragedy, and now I'm uninvited to the baby shower I'm planning. This story does have a new update. Tragedy is spelled like this because it's a term for when somebody give a child a regular name with a unique spelling. I had to have that explained to me, so I'm gonna explain that. Original post, November 19th, 2024. My sister is due after in early January, and we're planning her baby shower for early December. She decided she wanted to use my mother's maiden name, Rafferty, as her daughter's name. Not a tragedy itself, and I guess it works as a unique name. But yesterday, I texted my sister that I needed to get the custom items with my niece's name ordered ASAP. So they arrived in time for the shower. My sister then let me know they're going with an alternative spelling of Rafferty. I texted back an alternative spelling of our mother's maiden name. My sister wants to spell it... It's gonna be said Rafferty, but it's spelled Raffarty. R-A-E-F-A-R-T-Y rather than R-A-F-F-E-R-T-Y. I mean, guys, maybe I'm a fucking dickhead here. This is already a big question mark name to name your kid. I'm all for a unique name. That being said, something about this name, okay, I know it's a baby, but I'm thinking long term here. And this is just being realistic, chat, okay? If somebody comes in here and is like, you're sexualizing kids, I'm not. I'm thinking about if that kid is like 21, 22, even like 27 years old. They're a full-blown adult and their name is Rafferty. Can you guys imagine moaning the name Rafferty in bed? I feel like that, chat, is a good way to gauge if it's a good name or not. Rafferty? Like, no. Fuck no. Oh my god, Bob? Ew. Sorry if your name is Bob. Someone is catching strays here. If that's your name, blame your parents, don't blame me. That is the way that I look at this. If you want to gauge names, think about the moanability of it, all right? That's how we should gauge ridiculous names. Moanability. Yeah, guys, I don't think that's a good name at all, let alone changing it to Raffarty. Raffarty is insane. Like, talk about setting that kid up for failure. My sister wants to spell it Raffarty, so I sent back a bunch of laughing emojis and she asked, what's so funny? I tried to explain that no one will pronounce that as Rafferty and that she'll probably get plenty of the same mispronunciations. She told me I was being ridiculous. I texted back, my poor niece, little Miss Farty Rye. I was uninvited to the shower, and my mom told me today my sister doesn't want me as a godmother anymore. But like, Raffarty is really bad, isn't it? Someone needs to tell her, right? I mean, yeah, I totally agree with this, bro. Listen, if you had made fun of her for like, if the name was like Bob, sure, man, is that like maybe not the best name in the world? Whatever. But like, you do you. Rye Farty? Borderline cruel. That kid will be endlessly bullied until the end of time. Let's see what the top comments have to say. A commenter said, that's terrible. She's going to hate her name. Out of curiosity, how old is your sister? OOP, my sister is 26. We both have fairly plain names, and my sister was always jealous of people with more exotic names. She told my mom that spelling it Rye Farty. Sorry, I keep saying it like that because it just makes more sense for like, for any listeners, it's literally spelled Rye or Ray Farty. Spelling it Ray Farty will be obvious that it's pronounced Rafferty, but it makes it look more girly. I mean, yeah, girls fart too. Someone asked, what about the brother-in-law? OOP responded, I texted him last night to ask if he knew about the colorful respelling. Surprise, surprise, he hates it and immediately thinks Ray Farty too. But he doesn't know how to approach it because my sister's pregnancy has been increasingly emotional and he's already walking on eggshells. I mean, sorry, bro. I get it. Like, take care of your wife when she's pregnant, but you also need to nut up. That is your baby too. You should be able to come in hot and be like, hey, like, look, I'm so glad we're going to have this baby. I totally respect you want to name this kid Rafferty, whatever. The spelling is too far. Let's not do anything ridiculous here. Guys, guess who's out here? The man! The boy! Say hello, Mr. Man. Should we give him a treat, guys? I think we give him a couple treats here. Josie and Yetta, thank you guys for all the gifted community subs. These are from you guys. Those are from all the gifted subbers. All right, we'll give him one more, guys. You've convinced me. More treats for the handsome man. If he pukes on my carpet, though, guys, I blame y'all. Update post November 21st, 2024, about 2 days after the original post. So we had an intervention on Ray Farty. I know everyone said to send a link to the original post to my sister to show her that 103% of the global population would call her daughter Ray Farty, and that would be the easiest thing to do. But some commenters said some pretty gnarly things about my sister that she doesn't need to read and feel worse about herself. But I wanted to address a few things that came up. First, for those saying I shouldn't bother paying for the baby shower anymore, I had no plans to not continue to pay and help out. Disagreements and fighting aside, I love my sister and want her to go into motherhood filled with love and support, regardless of whether she wants my support or attendance at the event. Second, my sister's husband was made aware of the spelling change of Rafferty to Ray Farty about a month before my original post. He said he didn't think much of it until he saw it written down and immediately saw it as Ray Farty too. He said her emotions had been getting worse throughout the pregnancy and he didn't know how to approach her about going back to the original spelling. He had hoped that once she gave birth, all the hormones would somehow leave her body and she'd come to her senses and it would be a non-issue. What a dumb idiot man way to deal with an issue. Bro, we're talking about your child being bullied for like the most ridiculous name in the world, but sure, just leave it up to chance. Leave it up to hopefully she comes to her senses. We'll see. Like, comment, subscribe. Like, shut up. Third, a lot of you were lumping my mom in with my sister and said some pretty horrible things about her too. All my mom knew was from my sister calling her to complain that I laughed at her for slightly changing the spelling. My mom just assumed it was a minor change like Rafferty, basically the Y at the end being replaced with IE, until I told her to grab a pen and paper and I'd spell it out for her. Once she saw it was Ray Farty, she was team save this child. The rest of the saga is in the comments. Continued. Now, for those of you who told me I didn't have any tact and my reaction was mean, my reaction was because 1, people would call the poor girl Ray Farty her entire life for the sake of my sister being quirky. 2, pregnancy brain aside, surely my sister would realize her child would be called Ray Farty once it's pointed out. Have a laugh, change her mind, and this will end up being a funny story to tell at her daughter's future wedding or something. And 3, my sister is a bit of a joker, so I also initially thought she was just pulling a prank or joking. Don't get me wrong, she probably could have delivered that better by not joking about it, but also, I didn't really see that as cruel. I thought that was deserved a little bit. You are just getting a glimpse into what the rest of the world is going to do when they see your child's name. If this is your sister laughing at it, the entire world will laugh at it. But if she was joking, she took the joke really, really far. She spent $400 on a mural painted on one wall in the nursery. She wanted to debut the finished nursery to everyone at the baby shower, including her husband, who was forbidden to see it beforehand. That had Ray Farty incorporated into it that now needs to be repainted. She also bought herself a birthing gift. Is this even a thing? She'd have my brother-in-law present to her in front of everyone at the hospital a $900 plus gold bracelet with RAEFARTY charms. That's pretty ridiculous. Is that a thing, chat? Is buying yourself a baby gift a thing? A birthing gift? The baby book also has Ray Farty embroidered on the cover. I contacted my sister's best friend, Katie, not her real name, if my sister has told her anything about the spelling change. She found out about Ray Farty after the blow up with my sister, as my sister wanted to get Katie on her side. Katie, who's a teacher, was equally horrified about the spelling and told me this is the worst attempt at a creative name she's ever seen. The intervention of sorts, the farty party, if you will, included me, my sister, her husband, his mother and father, my mother, and Katie. My sister refused to believe anyone could possibly see Ray Farty as Ray Farty, and that we were just mad that she was taking creative license and that everyone does that nowadays. My sister said children are not that cruel to bully her daughter for her name, and Katie said plenty of kids are cruel enough, and the others would join in so they're not singled out themselves. That is so incredibly unaware. I am terrified for this woman becoming a mother. If you have this idea that kids aren't cruel, nah bro, kids can be incredibly cruel. My sister countered that as long as all adults are pronouncing it correctly, it'll be no problem, and Katie told her that not only would the adults not know how to pronounce it to begin with, but that as long as fart is in the name, kids will latch right onto that. I was happy Katie was there because she shared interesting names her students have had over the past few years, so I knew her opinion on this would probably be the only one to sway her. My sister cried for about 10 minutes and finally agreed to entirely change the name because even Rafferty was tainted, because we all had ruined it for her. We told her to take her time to consider a new name. She told us she still wanted to honor my mother, and she suggested she combined my mother's first name with her mother-in-law's name and created a name on the spot that included a crass term for a lesbian. When my mother pointed that out, she started crying again and accused us of not letting her be a mom, and her husband suggested we leave it for now and we should all go and give her space. I need to know this name. What's a crass term for a lesbian, chat? Oh, it rhymes with bike. Yeah, I think we should revoke this woman's naming privileges. It's been radio silence until my sister texted me a couple hours ago that she and her husband landed on Theodora, and that she is absolutely in love with it. Okay, that's not a bad name. I feel like Theodora is a good name. She even decided my unborn niece looks like a Theodora in the ultrasounds. She's got those creepy 3D ones done where every baby looks like the same copper potato. I replied that that was lovely and that I'm so happy she's happy. It's not my taste, but at least it's not Theodorug or some crap like that. So there you go. My niece has been saved from being called Ray Farty. I'm invited to the baby shower again, and I know this is just a little blip with my relationship with my sister, and we'll be fine. But Katie will be taking over as godmother, which is fine by me. I can always be godmother to their next child, who will probably be named something like Tiramisu. Thank you all for seeing the same thing I did and letting me know stopping Ray Farty from coming into existence was the right thing to do. Okay, so this comment is basically people saying that birthing gifts are tacky. Have to agree with it. No P's agreeing with it as well. Oh, guys, it wasn't what we were thinking. Commenter, pretty please tell us the combination of her mother and mother-in-law's names. OOP, there's probably no anonymity left in this situation, so here it goes. My mom's name is Leslie. Sister's mother-in-law is Yvonne. The name was Les Yvonne. The name was Les Yvonne, pronounced Leslie Vaughn, like my niece is the lesbian baroness of some German village. I'll have the staff prepare the Birkenstocks for Leslie von Fartenberg's arrival. Oh no, who let this woman name children, bro? I'm so glad they landed on Theodora. I actually think Theodora is a cute name, low-key. Leslie Vaughn sounds like the final boss of lesbians. The new update, January 3rd, 2025, 1.5 months later. Title, Ray Farty has made it to the party. I don't know if you remember my post from a few weeks back about my sister wanting to name my niece Ray Farty. My niece has been born 2 weeks earlier than expected, but she is healthy and home now. When my sister first held her, she said she's adorable and got an idea. She wanted to change it from Theodora to Theodorable. Oh my god. Thankfully, my brother-in-law put his foot down. Oh my god. Glad bro finally learned how to have a spine, because no way. He did give her carte blanche on the middle name. When it was supposed to be Rafferty, they went with Rose to counterbalance Rafferty being different. now that Theodora was the normal name. And because my sister just cannot not be extra, she chose Jacksonville? Theodora Jacksonville. A Ray Farty rose by another name would smell as sweet. No, we are not from Florida. Brother-in-law is not from Florida. I don't think my sister's ever been to Florida, much less to Jacksonville. I asked her how she came up with it, and she said she always liked geographical names, which is news to me because I specifically remember a conversation about names months ago, and she said she hated when parents name their kids places like Camden or Brooklyn because they're trying way too hard. But you do you, Ray Farty's mom. Also, our city has a pretty sizable Polish-American population, and people will certainly try to pronounce it like it's a Polish last name, but at least the craziness is confined to the middle name, and there's no gas or slurs involved. Am I the a-hole for just deciding not to travel because my wife made reservations for Disney again? My wife Jess and I have been married for the past 13 years. We're both 39. After experiencing financial hardship throughout our 20s and early 30s, Jess and I are now fortunate enough to have the means to travel once or twice a year. The only problem is that Jess literally only wants to go to Disney World. We have been to Disney 9 times now, and every vacation we have ever taken together was to go there, including our honeymoon. Ooh, Disney for a honeymoon? Listen, bro, I'm trying to be nicer to the more casual Disney adult. That being said, if my wife suggested Disney for a honeymoon, I would literally laugh. Cause no fucking way. Let's top off our marriage with a romantic getaway to Disneyland. So we go, we eat Mickey Mouse ice cream, we wear the mouse ears, we stay in the official hotels, we see the characters, we ride the rides, we take the pictures in front of Cinderella's castle, and we come home. Every trip. I'm honestly beyond sick of Disney, and I never really liked going in the first place. Jess knows this, but she has no concept of travel beyond Disney. We're currently planning a trip for April, and Jess, as usual, said that we can just go to Disney. I explained that it sounds fun, but hey, why don't we go somewhere like Hawaii this time? Jess was confused. She asked why we would go to Hawaii. And I responded that we could enjoy the spas and go to the beach. And also me personally, Hawaii is for adults and Disney is for kids. Jess mumbled a half-hearted answer and walked away. A few days later, she approached me saying that she made hotel reservations for Hawaii. At first, I was excited because although she did so without consulting me, it seemed like she was really listening. But then when she showed me the hotel she booked, I found out she made reservations for Aulani, the Disney resort in Hawaii. Frustrated, I told her that I'm honestly tired of Disney and that I just want to have a different experience this time. She told me that she was compromising with me and that I should be appreciative for the time she spent. I asked her if she was willing to consider anything other than Disney for our trip, and she said no. At this point, I said that I wasn't going. Now she's furious, she canceled the reservation she made, and now she's looking for a friend to go to Disney World with again, without me. No, because she's not compromising. It's literally her way or no way. Compromising is, okay, this year we go to Disney. Next year we go to somewhere other than Disney. Compromising isn't, okay, we're gonna go to Disney again, just in Hawaii. Bitch, that's still Disney. Okay, chat, clearly not the a-hole. I will say, you could have not married a Disney adult. Shoot me, bro. I'll keep my beef with Disney adults. You knew she was like this. This is unfortunately the bed you made. She hid it from him, this horrible affliction. I doubt that, Zan, and I doubt that because their honeymoon was Disney. There's no way somebody who insists on their honeymoon being at Disney, they didn't let that through the cracks before y'all got married. I doubt it. I'd put money on it. Going to Disney once a year is so unrealistic and privileged, like the rent I could pay with that. How much does an average Disney trip cost? Our baseline Disney World vacation for a family of 4 costs $7,000. This includes flights, transportation, 5-night stay, 5 tickets, lightning lane, quick service meals, snacks, and 2 table service meals. Yeah, but I'm sure it costs way more than that if you're a Disney adult, because the Disney adult's gonna want to buy shit. They're gonna want the unique experience. They're gonna want to be able to skip the line. Like, there's no way that shit is cheap, dog. Update 1, December 20th, 2024, 1 week later. I screwed up. I know most people were giving me not the a-hole judgment, but Jess actually showed a great deal of openness to my idea. She took initiative by reserving the hotel because she wanted me to be happy. When I said nope, no Disney, she felt that I hadn't put any effort into taking her feelings into consideration, and she was completely right. I hadn't. It was, in a twisted way, my form of revenge for dragging me to Disney World all these times. In the last post, some people commented about how Aulani barely even looks like a Disney resort at all. This is something I should have researched myself before I threw the gauntlet down with Jess. When I looked into it, it looks like a run-of-the-mill Hawaiian resort. In my defense, going to Disney World 9 times has kind of made me sensitive, and I'm fairly sure that on a Rorschach test, I'd see nothing but mouse ears at this point. But I really should have not jumped to conclusions. A day after I made the post, I approached Jess and apologized. I was wrong. Yes, she might be a Disney adult, but aside from always wanting to go to their theme parks, she's never obnoxious about it. I said I was sorry and asked for permission to reserve the hotel again, and Jess responded that she'd love to go to Aulani with me. When I told her that it's not really all that Disney, Jess said, "Of course I knew that. I wanted to go because my sister said it was beautiful." I'm a moron. Jess and I have replaned our vacation and we're super excited to be going now. I came to this realization because a lot of people pointed out some things I should have figured out myself. Thank you. You know what? After rereading this, I think there's a possibility that OP did not communicate that Disney was the problem until after she made the reservations. Here's my verdict on this. If OP had properly communicated that Disney was the problem, I would still kind of have a problem that she booked the Disney hotel in Hawaii. But I also think OP did not properly communicate it. OP did not properly communicate that Disney was the problem until afterwards. That being said, at this point, I'm just glad they're communicating. I'm seeing everyone sucks here in chat right now. I think I said not the a-hole verdict, but after this update and after kind of like revisiting it, I do kind of agree with that. The wife sucks because she needs to not do a Disney vacation. And OP sucks for his communication around not wanting to do a Disney vacation. Let me look at the comments here. Okay, Commodore 1, man, did you get gaslit? 9 fucking vacations in a row to Disney? Did she take your feelings into account any of the 9 times? No. Yeah, I mean, this is how I feel, but like also, I really don't think he properly communicated that Disney was the problem. Wait, just kidding. I'm honestly beyond sick of Disney and I've never really liked going in the first place. Jess knows this, but she has no concept of travel beyond Disney. Okay, so she knows that you're sick of Disney, but he also didn't really communicate it very well here. I don't know, chat. This update actually makes me sad. I'm sure Aulani is lovely, but Jess still is not hearing your feelings and you still aren't standing up for yourself. You need to communicate respectfully, calmly, and like adults. Maybe this is a good bridge to less Disney-centric vacations. Maybe not. But unless you communicate your frustrations, you're going to be going to something Disney-themed next time too. So pretty much everybody in the comments is basically saying, nah, bro, you shouldn't have to do anything Disney-related. Final update, January 5th, 2025, nearly 3 weeks later. Unfortunately, we will not be going to Aulani for our upcoming vacation. A couple days after Christmas, Jess had a minor car accident. She mistook drive for reverse and backed into our garage door. When I heard the loud bang, I ran outside and found Jess holding her neck in the car. I immediately drove her to the hospital where she got x-rays done. She seemed fine, but the doctor said that based on her symptoms, headache, neck pain, numbness in her fingers, she could have whiplash. Jess and I figured that she would be fine in a couple days, but almost 2 weeks later, she's still complaining about back pain. Yesterday, she approached me saying she wasn't confident she could go to Hawaii in a few months. I asked what she wanted to do, and while apologizing profusely, she asked me if we could postpone that trip. I responded that she had absolutely nothing to apologize for. After that, she said that she felt bad about not being able to go to Hawaii, but she might be able to make it to Disney World. While I didn't understand at first, she told me that it has very high accessibility and, in a worst case scenario, ECV rentals. She doubts that will be necessary, but assured me that we could take it easy there. I know this isn't the conclusion people here wanted, but it's certainly not what I wanted to do with my next vacation, but Jess's health has come first here. We've made our reservations. It's not where I want to go, but Jess is super happy right now, and that's what matters most to me. Chat, are we buying into the conspiracy theory that she did this on purpose to go to Disney World? Because I'm all for it. I think that's what's happening. I think she intentionally hurt herself so that she could go to Disney World. That is too suspect, chat. Guys, I'm gonna be fucking real with y'all. Sorry, Kathy. Sorry to expose you like this. Shout out my mother. My mother has backed into our garage before. She has backed into her garage before on accident. I don't see how you can get hurt by that if you are backing up responsibly. My mom backed into conduit and there was just a little bit of damage to the garage. Like, it wasn't even that bad. Like, I think I had to go out on the other side of the garage and push in the part of the garage because it was right on the seam. The seam was pushed out the way that it wasn't supposed to. And I think I had to go in on the other side and just push it back in. To have whiplash from that, like, you almost have to try to get whiplash from that, right, chat? Has anybody else ever heard of somebody getting hurt from backing into their garage on accident? How fast do you have to back out of your garage to give yourself whiplash? She could also be faking the pain because she saw the opportunity. That's a good point too. Yeah, I guess it's not even confirmed that she has whiplash. It just says that she has symptoms, which could also be her lying about it because the x-rays came back fine. Huh, she's faking it, bro. She's faking it. She has to be faking it. 5 to 10 miles per hour needed for whiplash. Really? That's ridiculous. I was on the treadmill going 9 miles per hour yesterday. There's no way that I could get whiplash from that shit. I mean, either way, chat, like, I'm all for this conspiracy theory. I'm on the wave of Disney adults think different. What should I do if my brother-in-law makes my family watch all 6 Rocky movies on Christmas and I can't take it anymore? Original post, December 25th, 2024. My brother-in-law is a great guy. He's got a successful small business, has 2 awesome kids, and treats my sister, his wife, really well. However, when we all gather at my parents' house for Christmas every year, he insists on putting on the Rocky movies all day. Not only do they have to be on the TV, but he wants to be sure that we are watching the movies and paying attention to them. They can't just be on in the background. He starts right when we wake up, and we have to open presents while the first movie plays. Then he puts on Rocky 2, then 3, and so on. They play throughout the entire day, and the volume of the TV is always so loud. Anytime we leave to go into another room to try and do something else, he gives us a guilt trip that we're not participating in the family tradition. I can't take it anymore. I don't find the movies to be bad, but I feel this tradition doesn't have much to do with Christmas, and I don't like the movies enough to have them on every single year. I'm also not the only one on my family who wants this tradition to end. What can we do? Okay, don't get me wrong. Forcing somebody to watch all the Rocky movies is pretty fucking ridiculous. I'm gonna make a bold prediction, chat. I think this is like a very deep and meaningful tradition that maybe like this brother-in-law's family used to do, and now he can't do it with his family anymore, and he feels in order to complete it or like honor them or something like that, he has to do this. I am once again asking a Redditor posting for advice to just communicate. I think OP should go to this brother-in-law and just be like, listen, bro, I'm gonna be so real. These Rocky movies are not my thing. I don't want to watch them. The TV's always super loud. If you want to play them, that's fine, but don't force me to watch it. Don't guilt trip me to watch it. But then also kind of be like, why do we have to do this tradition? And maybe I'm wrong, chat, but I would guess that this must be a very meaningful tradition to the brother-in-law, and that's why he feels the need to put it on you guys to participate. OOP updated on the same post, same day, a few hours later. This morning between Rocky 2 and Rocky 3, myself, my 2 brothers, and my parents decided we were going to play a game in another room. My brother-in-law came in and said we needed to be in the living room where the movie was playing. We told him no, not this year. We want to do something else. He left and we don't know where he drove off to. His wife and kids are still here. We'll give an update if anything else happens. Edit 2, for those asking for an update, brother-in-law texted his wife, my sister, and said he's at home by himself watching the Rocky movies and won't be coming back. One of my brothers is going to drop my sister and her kids off at their house when we're done with our festivities here. We have Christmas music playing, games going on, and a bunch of us are putting dinner together. It's been a great day so far without the brother-in-law. I mean, okay, don't get me wrong. Brother-in-law is a fucking man-child for leaving to go watch the movies at his own house and also leaving his entire fucking family? Like, what? I don't know. I want to give him a benefit of the doubt just because of this line right here. Like, it sounds like he's a great guy from the beginning of the update. I really do wish OP would have communicated and asked him why. Like, why do we have to watch all the Rocky movies? Because I genuinely think this has to be like a childhood trauma thing. Unless he's just ridiculous, I would hope there's a reasonable explanation on why he's so gung-ho about watching these goddamn movies. It feels very tism. Okay, Lee, I see that. I mean, maybe OCD? Like, does he have like this, like, guys, we have to watch all 6 Rocky movies or the world is gonna end? You know what I'm saying? Like, I need an explanation. My boyfriend wants to take me home with him for the holidays. I don't want to go because of my weight. We have a 19 female OP and a 21 male boyfriend. Original post December 8th, 2017. I met my boyfriend online. He's from a country in Europe and I live in America. We've been together for 2 years and actually together for 10 months. He started regularly coming to America earlier this year because he plans on coming here permanently for school next year. And he's amazing. He's the nicest, sweetest, funniest person I've ever met, and I have no idea how I got this lucky. He's also way above me in terms of looks, and I have pretty low self-esteem to start with. So that occasionally puts me down because women constantly, obviously check him out. As you probably guessed from the title, I'm overweight. I'm not like 400 pounds. I can walk, and if I need to run, I can run, and I can touch my toes and take care of myself and all that. I'm really obsessive with my hygiene because I'm scared of fulfilling the fat people smell bad stereotype. I try to wear things that flatter me, but I always keep my arms and back covered, and my boyfriend is the only person outside of my family who has ever seen me without a sweater. I try to put some effort into my appearance because if I'm going to be fat, I could at least be fat and not slobby. I've never been a healthy weight. The last time I was a healthy weight was literally when I came out of my mom, LOL. My parents were poor when I was growing up, so I grew up with the if you don't clean your plate, you're wasting food mentality drilled into me. Once when I was about 5, I didn't finish dinner and had to sit at the table for hours until I finished it. Side note, my parents aren't abusive. They were 19 and 20 at the time and didn't know what they were doing. We have an amazing relationship now. Obviously, I can't blame my parents for all of my weight problems. I'm grown, I like to cook and bake, and I don't exactly make healthy food. But I grew up fat and was constantly bullied for my weight and glasses, so I haven't had very good self-esteem in the long run. Definitely sounds like a good therapy candidate. And would you guys categorize this as a eating disorder? I think there is a little bit of, maybe not coaching. I don't know if coaching's the right word. There's something about her relationship with food that needs some oversight, I guess is the best way I can put it. What do you guys say? Ooh, okay, Aaron, it's disordered eating, maybe not an eating disorder necessarily. I like that. So because of all that, my weight and low self-esteem and everything, I really do not want to go home with my boyfriend for Christmas. About 2 days ago, he asked me what I thought about meeting his family and spending Christmas and New Year's in his home country. I told him I'd have to think about it. And the more I think about it, the more I'm dreading even the idea. I really, really want to go and meet his family. I love him, and if we get married somewhere down the line, I'd be the happiest girl on the planet. But I also really, really don't want to go. I don't want to be on a plane because I don't know how big the seats are. I'm worried about being in a country where most people are thin and walk and bike everywhere, and I'm worried about being seen as a McDonald's eating fat American stereotype, or whatever it is people think. I'm terrified of his family not liking me because they know he can do better. I've admittedly been a little bit mopey these past few days while I thought about it, and he's noticed. I don't want him to think I don't want to meet his family because I'm not committed to him or anything. I just don't want to embarrass him. So my question is, what do I do? Do I go? If I could lose 80 pounds in the next couple of weeks, then I could go, but unfortunately that's impossible. Do I just not go and tell him why? Would that mess up our relationship? I'm so confused and I just don't know what to do. I think the first plan of action here is communicate to your boyfriend how you're feeling. To me, that's the number one thing. If this is how you feel, that's completely fine and valid. You just need to make sure your partner is on the same page as you. That's going to at least mitigate any possibility of him thinking that there's a more problematic reason why you won't meet his family, which I think is very important. You don't want him overthinking and coming to a conclusion that isn't the conclusion. On top of that as well, he could probably help alleviate some of the stresses there. I think the number 2 of this is you should seek some sort of professional help. I'm not quite sure what type of professional help, but something that you can, even if it's just therapy, like something where you can start talking about this and trying to figure out a plan. Like, and this isn't me saying you have to lose weight. Just in my head, like the way that I think is like, okay, clearly your weight is something you think about a lot. To me, it's a little surprising that you maybe haven't taken steps to work on it. And I'm not saying you have to. I'm not saying you shouldn't shouldn't be overweight or whatever. Like, live your life, whatever makes you feel the most comfortable. But just reading this paragraph, you sound like you're very uncomfortable in your skin. Start looking into maybe not losing weight, but figuring out a way to start being more comfortable in your skin, whether that's losing weight or just going to therapy. This might be kind of mean to me, chat, and let me know. I think OP has to go. I think OP really should go on this trip because number one, I think it's not as bad as OP's making it up in their head. People tend to be a lot more critical of themselves than other people are of them. I feel like if OP goes and all goes well, that will definitely help them with their anxieties that they're displaying in this post. I don't know if that's a mean thing to say necessarily, but I think they should and almost like have to go if they really do want to move forward with this relationship. Oh, this is a good way to put it, Jet. Exposure therapy. Yes, we do have an edit with a little bit more information. Everyone has been telling me to go. I know I need to. I'm going to tell him, yes, I'm going before I let myself back out. Thank you to everyone who pushed me to go. I know I need to step out of my comfort zone at some point. Okay, that's good. Would love to see some therapy sprinkled in there, but we love to see it. What are the relevant comments here? I think this is important. I think you are far overthinking this. If he's one of the sweetest, most caring people you know, I'd say that's likely a reflection of how he was raised by his parents. OOP, I never thought of that. I've seen pictures of his parents and I've even said hi over the phone and they know I exist, but they haven't really seen me. They seem nice, but I don't know. I would be surprised if they haven't been shown photos of OP, right, chat? Whenever I tell my siblings like, oh, I'm seeing a girl, they're always like, oh, I need pictures. Like that's the first thing they ask for. Another comment, why not ask your boyfriend straight out? Say, I feel as though your parents will hate me because I'm large. Thoughts. He will likely be like, what the fuck, OP? And tell you how wrong you are. If he loves you as much as it sounds like he does, if his parents were to say anything, he'd shut them down as quick as shit out of a duck's ass. Honestly, that's probably exactly what he'd do. He doesn't understand why I don't think I'm pretty or attractive. It's really hard for me to take compliments and he doesn't get why. I do think he'd stick up for me if someone was rude, but then what if they are mean and I cause an argument between them? I kind of tried to not say for privacy, but he's from Germany. Another commenter says, I think you should go. Your boyfriend's parents raised him to be the man who appreciates you for who you are. There is the chance they will judge you, but that chance is always there when meeting the parents. And it could be because you are poor, because you have the wrong skin color, wrong religion, etc. Fat is just one option. But if you never go, if you never try because you are afraid, then where does that leave you? Don't you think you deserve to have the chance for a good relationship with these people? Also, on a practical note, I'm sure they have seen pictures of you. This won't be a complete surprise. You say you've been fat your whole life, but I don't think you have accepted it about yourself. You talk like your boyfriend is doing you a favor by dating you, despite your weight. That is never a good mindset for a relationship, and you are approaching his family the same way, under the assumption that you aren't good enough. I think therapy would also be good. You are good enough. You deserve a happy relationship. And provided your boyfriend's parents aren't assholes or totally dysfunctional, you deserve a chance to have a relationship with them. All right, so this is a much better way of saying what I was trying to say. Props to this commenter. I think this one rips. OOP's response, thank you for this. There are plenty of things they could judge me for. I guess I'm just focusing on this because it's the most obvious besides my skin color. He's told me before how extremely anti-racist they are though, so that's not something I'm too worried about. I guess it would make sense for them to have seen me. Pictures can be really flattering though. They can't look at me from a selfie angle 24/7. Haha. I don't accept my weight. I hate it. There's not a single part of my body I like. I do feel like my boyfriend is doing me a favor. That's exactly how I feel actually. He can do so much better and I feel like he's settled for me. I know I need therapy, but I don't know how to talk about how I feel. Just writing this post was a struggle. It was only really recently that I realized feeling this way about myself wasn't normal. I want to have a relationship with his parents. I want them to like me. I'm scared that I'll do something stupid to fuck it up. Yeah, I mean, chat, this is just like a, if you don't love yourself, you can't accept that other people would love you type of thing. Like, I just feel like OP doesn't love herself enough. And OP needs to learn how to start loving herself more than anything. Not saying she needs to lose weight or whatever, but she needs to figure out how to not have this mindset around her weight. Finally, the update, January 11th, 2018, 1 month later. The general consensus of the original comments was that I needed to talk to my boyfriend about my concerns and go through with the trip. So I did. I sat my boyfriend down and said we needed to talk, which obviously scared him because that's a sentence nobody in a relationship wants to hear. Once I was done explaining how I felt and stuff, he just kind of looked at me like I was insane and was just like, you really think my family would be that shallow? When he put it that way, it finally dawned on me how silly I was being. We talked about my self-esteem and stuff, and he asked if there was any way to help me feel better. I told him I didn't want my self-esteem to rely on one person, and he already compliments me so much that there's not any room for improvement in the first place. We decided that our New Year's resolution would be to just start eating healthier in general and going on walks and little things like that. Yeah, this is perfect. Build a habit of eating healthier, not going nuclear on the eating healthier, and then just doing little exercises like walk. I feel like people's number one mistake with exercising is like it has to be something intense that you don't enjoy. That is the number one way to guarantee that you will not build a habit around exercising. If you don't enjoy it, it's not going to get ingrained. As for the trip, I did end up going and had an absolute blast. The second I got on the plane and fit in the seat fine, my mood went from dread to complete and utter excitement. His family is amazing, his mom is the sweetest woman on the planet, and she makes amazing hot chocolate. And he definitely gets his sense of humor from his dad. We stayed until January 5th, and in the end, I didn't even want to leave. The food, the markets, the snow, the people, everything about it was incredible, and I can't wait to go back. Thank you to everyone who convinced me to go. I'm so happy I stepped out of my comfort zone. Yeah, bro. I mean, I love this. It's good to hear the steps are being taken. It's kind of interesting. This is an older post. I would love to hear where OP is at now. Am I the a-hole for telling my husband that I don't want to be a single mom of 3 kids? Editor's note, there are a few background posts that help paint a better picture of OOP's life, so I've included them as well. I replaced letters with names. Thank God. I hate it when they do that shit. Background post 1, August 10th, 2024. The title, Am I the a-hole for calling my mother-in-law a liar? Background, my sister, 33 female, and I, 30 female, are not close. We always catch up on birthdays, weddings, and similar family events, but we are not friends. This is partially because we are very different and partially because she doesn't approve of my marriage. My husband is 12 years older than me, and we started dating when I was 18. Ew, okay, we already see where this is going. My husband and his family don't like my sister because she is openly feminist and doesn't care about gender norms in marriage. Now, the problem. We hosted a birthday party for my son a few days ago. I had a headache, so I was upstairs when I heard my mother-in-law and husband arguing inside. He stormed in her room, said that mother-in-law says that my sister called my sister-in-law a whore, said that she is ugly and fat, and then left. I said that my sister couldn't have said that because she would never call another woman those types of derogatory words, and husband said that mother-in-law was there and heard everything, and I wasn't. To which I said that then mother-in-law is lying, and that would be out of character for my sister to say something like that. He called me an a-hole and says that I don't even like my sister and that I get along better with my mother-in-law anyway, so how can I call her a liar? He has been on the phone with mother-in-law and sister-in-law all day, and I've been made to be this huge jerk. Reason why I said that is that those type of words sound like something that my sister-in-law and mother-in-law would use, not my sister. Later, I talked with my sister, and she says that she was helping put together a swing in the backyard when sister-in-law said that she is again doing a man's job and that she should be helping with food. To which my sister told her to F off already, took her keys, and left with her husband. But I didn't know that when I said that my mother-in-law lied, so am I the a-hole? Okay, I'm gonna read this comment because it looks like it adds more info. Top commenter, info. So just to be clear, it seems like you're saying that your mother-in-law did lie from the sound of things. Your sister swore at sister-in-law, but didn't drop the gendered insults that your sister-in-law and mother-in-law claimed she said. OOP. Hi, my mother-in-law is now downplaying everything, says that maybe she didn't understand everything since she wasn't that close, and my sister-in-law cried when my sister left, so she wasn't that coherent. My theory is that mother-in-law didn't actually hear anything and that she believed what sister-in-law said, but I don't know that for sure. Because of the top comment, this post was voted as needs more info. Don't get me wrong, I do feel like this could need more info. Honestly though, I think people just don't want to make a decision here because I'm leaning towards not the a-hole. Does OP maybe have more of a reason to be on the mother-in-law side? Yes, but I think that even says more to the fact that she's not on the mother-in-law side. Also, let's be completely real here, chat. OP was definitely groomed. So I'm already not on the side of the husband, the mother-in-law who let her son groom an 18-year-old, and the sister-in-law who had no problem with the husband grooming an 18-year-old. Like, if that were me, chat, my siblings would fucking kill me. Unmarked grave, my dumbass. In no way, shape, or form should that be allowed. If those weren't the circumstances, I think, honestly, OP should trust them. But because I know that, I'm like, I don't trust it. It sounds sus enough to to have a question mark, and just knowing that OP was groomed, I feel like the question mark is gone and now we have an exclamation point. Biggest thing is her knowing her sister well enough to know how sus would behave. I'm a big trust your gut person. The fact that her gut was saying that she should trust her sister, who she's not even close with, over her mother-in-law and husband, I think that says everything that I need to know. So we have a background post too, September 3rd, 2024, a little bit less than a month later after this first background post. The title, I am envious of my sister. I, 30 female, have a sister. Let's call her Madison, 33 female. We grew up very poor in an unstable family. Father left when I was a baby. Mother was abusive, but we had each other and we were both very supportive of each other. We somehow managed to grow up into very different people. I always wanted a husband, a lot of kids, white picket fence, whole thing. And she was more of a, if it happens, it happens type. I got married young, 18, and now have kids with my husband. Wait, she got married at 18? So you're telling me you not only started dating him when you were 18, but you got married to him when you were 18 too? Jesus Christ, this woman never had a chance. Madison got pregnant with her then boyfriend, who abandoned her while she was pregnant. She kept the pregnancy and the father is not in the picture, nor is he on the birth certificate. I know she went through hell, raising a kid on her own, in between daycare, jobs, keeping the house clean, cooking, etc. When her son was 6, she met a great guy, and after dating for a year, she got married. That was almost 2 years ago. Now Madison is openly a feminist, and so is her husband. They both work, both take care of the house. They go clubbing, both together and separately. Same with vacations. Her husband is raising her son as his own and even wanted to adopt him legally, which my sister refused. My husband is more traditional. I catch myself being resentful of my sister. If she is tired, her husband will make her coffee and clean their house. Mine says that's my job and won't lift a finger even when I'm sick. When she is sick, she gets homemade soup in bed, medicine. He dotes on her and is very loving. When they are both in a mood, they order food, make a pillow fortress, and watch movies with their son. I am expected to make all meals, no matter how my day was or how I feel. He takes her son to soccer practice, goes to his games, takes him to movies, ice cream, you name it. So does she. This depends on work schedule. I have to beg my husband to occasionally show up in school for his own children. Shocker, the man that groomed you is a shitty guy. Wow, who would have thunk that? My husband makes comments how my sister takes better care of herself than I do. Sometimes he criticizes her for that too, which she does. She goes to the gym, runs in the morning, always has nails, and regularly goes to get her hair done. I can't do any of that. Who's going to take care of the kids? The house? She can do it because her husband helps her. When Madison had an altercation with my sister-in-law, her husband was immediately on her side. He doesn't care was she right or wrong. My husband would probably tell me to stop being a child and apologize. I know my sister doesn't deserve this, but I am starting to hate her. She was nothing but supportive, except for my marriage. She doesn't like my husband, but even there, she is still civil with him and his family because of me. And I just want to cry when I see how different our lives are. I hate that I'm like this. I hate how I feel. I feel like I'm the worst person in the world. I mean, bro, let's stop hating your sister and start hating your dipshit of a husband. That is the real person we should hate here, chat. He is the real villain here. We need a heavy dose of therapy, honey. This is why we should not let 18-year-olds marry 30-year-olds, because they don't know what they want and they're fully getting taken advantage of. This poor woman. I'm not blaming this woman, by the way. Sounds like she didn't have a great family, had to figure it all out herself. Only people to blame here are the husband, his mom, and his sister. The husband shouldn't have been doing this. His mom should have said no, and his sister should have said no. So some of OOP's comments. Commenter, this is a husband problem. What you could do is tell him in the morning that you will be at the gym when he gets home from work, since he wants you to take better care of yourself. He is a grown man. He can pop something in the microwave. This, of course, does require someone to watch your kids. Would your sister be able to help with that occasionally? OOP, it is a husband problem. I know. Even if I try and find childcare, then he will be angry that I'm not with the kids. Commenter, why are you hating your sister instead of hating your husband? OOP, I don't know. I feel if I start to dissect my marriage, then a divorce is on the way, and that scares me. So you hate facing reality? I mean, I get it, but like, the only fault that OP has in this is that they just don't want to look at reality. The next steps here are for OP to be like, oh yeah, this is my shitty husband, and then to take steps themselves. I don't know. I feel like someone in the comments is gonna be like, you're victim blaming, but like, at a certain point, we just have to come to the conclusion that like, dude, you have to take action yourself. Yes, you are the victim, but it's also your job to come to that conclusion and then take the next next steps, aka get yourself out of this situation. I think a divorce is on the table. Trying to get full custody of your kids is on the table. Trying to make up with your sister to see if you can get her support and start learning from her, because clearly she knows something that you don't in terms of being happy and what kind of person that you want to be. Buggy, I like how you said it. I feel like you said it way better. She is absolutely a victim. However, she has recognized her situation and now it's her responsibility to get out with the help that she's been given. I agree. So we finished the background posts. We got all the background information and now we are getting into the actual post and the updates. Original post, January 4th, 2025, 4 months later, just under 5 from the first background post. And so I'm guessing this is the one that's titled, "Am I the a-hole for telling my husband that I don't want to be a single mom of 3 kids?" My husband, 42 male, and me, 31 female, have been married for 12 years. We have 2 kids, 8 male and 4 female. Our marriage is not great. His mother and sister often give unsolicited advice on my parenting, our marriage, and life in general. It is better in the last few months since I sat down with my husband multiple times. We talked, and this time he listened, so they backed off. Not completely, but it is better. In the last few weeks, husband started mentioning having a 3rd child, which fills me with dread. I love children, always wanted a big family, but it would be too much. I cook, clean, take care of the kids, and work part-time from home. He doesn't really help with the house, which I am fine with, nor with kids, which is a problem. I changed all the diapers, woke up at night, I take care of fevers, doctor's appointments, schools, play dates, everything. Mere thought of now going through another pregnancy, then taking care of a baby, makes me want to cry. I know I would have to do it all practically alone because my husband provides and women have been doing it for centuries. I should pull my weight and not be spoiled. It all culminated last night after another one of his, "I take great care of you and the kids. We should have a 3rd" monologues. I snapped. I told him that he really doesn't. That kids barely know him. When he comes home from work, he doesn't pay attention to them except to snap on our daughter when she is too loud. He doesn't know anything about our days because he doesn't ask, and I stopped telling him because he wasn't listening anyways. He is not a great father, nor a great husband as he likes to preach, and I have no desire to be a single mom of a 3rd child. 2 are quite enough. Thank you. He stared at me dumbfounded, then called me the C word, delusional and ungrateful, then stormed out to his mother's house. Yeah, bro, go run to fucking mommy. What a coward, man. If that's not a sign for you to get the fuck out of there, there's nothing we could do. If you don't have divorce papers the next day, that's on you, sis. Stop writing this Reddit post and contact a lawyer. Hales, full custody, go for alimony, take the house, and fuck his dad. Shitty man, not the a-hole, pretty easy. We do have a mini update from the comments 5 hours later. For clarification, we dated for 9 months and married when I was 18. I turned 31 a few days ago and can't imagine being attracted to an 18-year-old, let alone marrying one, but I didn't think like that back then. Whatever happens with my marriage, I am not having another child. I won't change my mind when it comes to that. I am on birth control, but I also have no desire to have sex with my husband after how he reacted and treated me. I don't have parents and I really don't want to go to friends with this. What? I mean, I get it, but like, no. Your friends are supposed to be the ones that are like pulling you out of the echo chamber. You need friends who you can tell these situations to so that they can be like, girl, that's batshit. You need to divorce him. Don't get me wrong. Reddit is probably great too, but I think it's more creditable when it's coming from somebody that you love and cherish and respect a lot. I'm just some random idiot on the internet. Don't get me wrong, I think you should listen to me, but you want those friends to be able to pull you out of the echo chamber. I called my sister Madison and told her everything, a lot of things that you guys said in the comments she has been saying for years. She showed up with food and wine and her husband. Brother-in-law took my kids to their house for a sleepover and Madison stayed with me. My husband is still with his parents, didn't call or text. My mother-in-law called, but I didn't pick up. I'm too angry and sad to have a conversation with her. Thank you for everyone commenting and giving me advice. It really means a lot. I will update you when I talk with my husband and when I know how to proceed and when I figure out how to update. Okay, I mean, what a goated sister, though. Great sister and brother-in-law. Let's give homeboy some credit here, too. Taking the kids for her? Yeah, bro. These are the people that you want in your life. These are the people that are going to give you some breathing room with the kids. Dude, I bet Madison was like, I've been waiting for this one. Turn that shit up. All right, guys. The long-awaited update. Please divorce, please divorce, please divorce. January 7th, 2025, 3 days later, 5 months from the first post. Morning after I made this post, my mother-in-law and sister-in-law showed up at my house. At this point, there was still no word from my husband. Let's call him Ray. It was obvious that they expected me to be alone. My kids were with brother-in-law at my sister Madison's house. She was with me. So we all sat down to have a conversation. I know I was being annoying, but I kept repeating that I don't see the point of that. Conversation should happen between Ray and me. We are grown-ups and married. I didn't see a reason for them to meddle. I mean, bro, imagine sending mommy and sister to go fucking talk to your wife because you're just so angry at her. This man that groomed a child can't go and have an adult conversation. He is the child in this situation. They took great offense to that. My mother-in-law at one point said that she doesn't understand what happened to me. I am not the girl her son married anymore. I said, of course I'm not. He married a teenager and I am now a grown woman. She turned beet red and started screaming at me, to which Madison said she is going to call the police if she doesn't calm down. After a few insults, mostly how I'm abusing her son and how bad of a mother I am, they left. Ray showed up a few hours later, not to ask about our children or to see how I am, but to berate me on how I treated his mother. Again, I think Madison being there changed his plan since he toned it down when she came downstairs. He demanded for her to leave. She refused and said that she is going to go upstairs so we can have a conversation, but she is not going anywhere until I ask her to, which I didn't. He started with basically saying that I am a bad wife, that I don't love him since I don't want more kids, and I blamed him for it. I shouldn't be speaking with him like that. He is a great father to our kids, etc. I asked which kids? Kids he hasn't seen in 3 days and didn't ask how or where they are. He then freaked out when I told him they are at brother-in-law and Madison's house, calling them both vile names that I don't want to repeat. Our conversation lasted an hour and nothing productive came out of it. We were going in circles. I was scared because he multiple times started grinding his teeth and putting his hands in fists, but he would calm down after a few seconds. I said if he is not willing to work on our marriage and thinks that he is completely in the right, we should get a divorce. He at first said fine, if that's what I want. I should pack my stuff and leave. I started packing. He ranted how I'm going to live without him, how he can't wait for me to explain to the kids why they are moving, and similar. I said that kids are not moving anywhere. They are staying in the house, and which parent stays here is taking care of them. He really couldn't comprehend what I was saying. I'm not turning our kids' lives upside down. Divorce is enough of a change. They are not going anywhere. Then his tune changed. He was willing to hear me out. I swear I thought I'm going to pop a blood vessel from rage. I said I don't care anymore. We are getting a divorce. Only questions are about logistics and our kids. To not make this post even longer, this also went in circles. Then he grabbed my shoulders and started shaking me. Madison got involved. They started pushing each other. I called the police. We managed to push him through the door and locked it. He left before the police came. We gave statements and I stayed at the house. I am fine, but Madison has a few scratches. Currently, I'm bombarded with the text from his family. Again, not a peep from him. I'm filing for divorce. I don't know why I thought this could end any differently, but I am also glad that I tried. For the people who found my previous posts, I am ashamed of how I was speaking about Madison, but I was envious until I realized that I was projecting my unhappiness with my life onto her. She didn't deserve it. She was and still is an amazing sister and an even better person. Thank you all. I got amazing advice and words of encouragement. Internet can be also full of wonderful people, and I'm grateful for each and every one of you. I mean, chat, they probably have good case for like an assault charge on the husband, which like, this is my toxic brain kicking in, but that could be very good leverage for getting full custody of the kids. I probably shouldn't think like that, but I am. I'm glad OP got there. It sucks that it got messy, but like, what did we expect from a groomer, bro? My boyfriend keeps disappearing into the bathroom for an hour or more with a stick of butter. And the butter is gone when he finally comes out. Should give the warning that this is not safe for work, but I want to fucking know where that butter is going. Original post, June 26th, 2020. I've been dating my boyfriend for 2 years and we finally moved in together. Ever since we moved in, I have seen a new side of him. It's a very odd issue and I can't wrap my head around what to do. At first, I started to notice butter was disappearing quickly. I assumed maybe I lost track of how much we had, or maybe he was cooking when I wasn't around. I don't know. But one night, a few weeks ago, I saw him try to stealthily take a stick of butter from the fridge, which I pretended not to notice. And he took the butter with him into the bathroom. Now, I have noticed my boyfriend spending an hour or more of time in the bathroom since we moved in, but I never saw him take the butter before. I was so confused. When he came out of the bathroom about an hour later, I saw no sign of butter, but I also saw he did not put the butter back in the fridge. It was gone. Chat, we're making the prediction, all right? Make your predictions in chat right now. I think he's putting it in his ass. For sure. No doubt in my mind, bro's walking around with a stick of butter shoved up his pooper. I think that's where this is going, chat. I'm gonna make the call out now. Y'all agree with that? That's... Although, okay, here's the thing, Chad, though. An hour? In theory, he could make that happen pretty quick, right? But why is he in there for an hour is a good question. I tried to subtly keep an eye on him, and over a week, he did this 3 separate times, and each time a stick of butter disappeared. Finally, I said one day, where did all of our butter go? I hardly used any this week, and it's gone. He pretended to not know and said maybe we had forgot to buy it. I said no, we had 4 sticks before. Now they're gone. He just acted like it was a mystery and said, guess we should order up some groceries. By now, I was getting very confused, so I ordered groceries and made a point of saying, good to finally have 4 sticks of butter. This should last us quite a while. He made no comment. On the first 2 days, whenever I used a small amount of butter, I would remark about how much butter we had left. Finally, one day, I saw him do it again. He took a stick of butter into the bathroom, was gone for an hour or so, and came back with no butter. I couldn't believe it. So when I made dinner, I acted shocked that 1 stick of butter was gone. He said maybe we only had 3, but he knew I'd been making a point of it. The very next day, another stick of butter gone. I listened at the bathroom door and heard sink water running and thought I heard moaning noises. I was so confused. Chat, we're cooking. That's definitely what he's using the butter for sure. Finally, this time when he came out, I said, I know he's been taking butter into the bathroom. He got all flustered and said, I must be mistaken. But I said I had literally seen him take the butter into the bathroom and come out without it, and that I know he has been lying to me about the quantity of butter in our fridge. He then started apologizing for misleading, but said, let's just not talk about it. And when he saw I was getting mad, he said, what if I just order my own separate private butter? Bro, the missing butter isn't the issue. It's what the hell are you doing in that bathroom, bro? I was like, okay, but what are you doing with the butter? He asked me to promise him to never ask about his butter activities again and to just put it behind us. He said, just look the other way on this one thing, and stressed how it's not a big deal at the end of the day. I was like, okay, I guess. But I have been so confused and even disturbed about it. Like, what is he doing with the butter? Why was he lying about it? Why won't he tell me? I don't even think he is eating it because he is not an overweight guy, and I feel like if somebody ate that much butter, they'd become hefty. But he shows no signs of it. I'm just like, who is this guy? Am I overreacting? It is just so odd I see him in a different light and I am not sure what to do. Should I just ignore it? Here's the thing, chat. I don't think Opie should ignore it, not because she necessarily has a right to know, but like this person is on track to becoming your life partner. You are gonna spend your life with them. This sounds like it's some sort of weird kink, whatever he's doing with this goddamn butter. And you should know about that kink. I think if there's something sexually that pleases your partner, that even if it's weird, you should be open to at least hearing it. And as long as nobody's getting hurt and nothing's crossing any boundaries, you should be open to exploring certain things with your partners if you love them enough and want to keep them in your life forever. That being said, I could see this being something weird that maybe OP isn't comfortable with. So I'm trying to think, because I think her best plan of action is approaching him being like, hey, I know you're probably doing something sexual with it. Like, I'm your partner. I want to support you in whatever you're interested in sexually. I'm debating if like you should lie to them and say like, no matter what, I love you, but like it ended up being something really messed up that you can't get over and you have to break up with him. I think you have to have one of those conversations with him. I don't like supporting lying guys, but like also he is kind of indirectly lying to OP. Maybe an ultimatum is the right move here. I don't know. I know Reddit fucking hates ultimatums, but me personally, my partner's going in there with a stick of butter. I have to know what they're doing. I would not be able to sleep at night without knowing what the fuck they're doing with that stick of butter. All right. And it looks like their update was a today I fucked up post. Today I fucked up by confronting my boyfriend who kept secretly bringing sticks of butter into the bathroom for an hour or more and coming out without the butter. June 27th, 2020, a day after the original post. This morning I said, look, yes, you should buy private personal butter for your activities, but I said, I need to know what you do with the butter. He got very quiet and then said, fine, I'll tell you just this once. And he told me everything. I was so mortified and confused. I cannot tell you what it is, but I will say it is a sensual activity, extremely sensual. What's the fun in that? I need to know, bro. I need to know what he's doing with this butter. You can't blue ball us like this. It is definitely an inappropriate use of butter. I cannot even type what it is due to how graphic it is. On one hand, it's just butter. But on the other hand, I can no longer see him the same way. I am staying at my parents'. To make matters worse, a friend of his found my other post and sent it to him saying, LOL, this must be about you. Damn, his friend fucking knew about this butter thing, but his girlfriend didn't? What is happening? Why does this friend know about his butter activities, bro? I guess he used to do it in college too, and he is furious. And now other people I know IRL know what he does with butter. He is angry at me for exposing his butter-based proclivities. Now I have probably ruined my relationship and everyone knows my business, causing me shame and humiliation. I can't believe what he does with butter though, and I don't think I can be with someone who does things like that. I consider it a momentous fuck up for me to have ever confronted him about it. This is my mistake because I can never unknow what I know. I mean, do you really want to be in a relationship with somebody who, I guess, does it? I don't know how bad it is, but apparently it's bad enough for you to freak out. And second, like, who isn't open and honest about the things that they like to do sexually with you? Like, I'm just so curious. Like, listen, bro, if he's just like putting it up the pooper, I really don't think it's that bad, but she's making it sound like it's a pretty fucking bad thing. Maybe someone in the comments has an answer? There's a joke about I can't believe it's not butter here somehow. King communities of Reddit, now's your time. Please enlighten us. What are the ways of the butterers? All right, guys, this might be a little graphic, but here we go. Not quite 10 years ago, I went to an amateur film festival. One of the films showed a man shove a stick of butter up his then put on short shorts and walk around town. He returned home and dispensed the butter onto a piece of toast. You can fill in the rest. It was the only film that got an audible reaction from the audience. Yeah, we're gonna have to censor the fuck out of that one. I don't even know what to say, chat. I regret digging further into this story. I didn't think about the eating part. Chat, I want to be done with this story. We did a little bit too much FBIing today. We could have FBI'd a little bit less. I invited 15 of my closest friends to my birthday party, but they didn't even reply to the invite, and I feel so ashamed. Original post, August 27th, 2023. I, female 27, made a WhatsApp group and invited 15 of my closest friends to my birthday party. I planned a nice themed dinner. The theme was Italy/Dolce Vita at a nice restaurant with one live music act, a nice cake ordered from a bakery and fitting the theme, and decorations. I wrote a heartfelt text, how I want to celebrate getting older with my oldest and greatest friends, and I detailed everything that was planned for the evening in the invitation. And then nothing. Nobody replied. Nobody said a word like, thanks for the invite, or looking forward, or anything at all. After a few hours, my boyfriend posted a party meme in the WhatsApp group and wrote how excited he was to get it started. Still nothing. After almost 2 days, I posted a GIF of chirping grills and made a funny comment, still thinking maybe people simply forgot to reply. After another day, I started texting people individually if they would like to come or if they are available that evening, and a few responded that they will let me know soon. Others didn't respond at all. After almost a week, not a single one of my friends posted into the group or have messaged me if they would like to come to my birthday party. After 0 invitation acceptances and after reaching out several times, I felt so ashamed, like I was begging the people to want to celebrate me or to come. I started to cry and I felt so depressed, ashamed, and humiliated. I just deleted the WhatsApp group. Nobody has asked me about that either. My birthday is now just a week away. I called the restaurant and canceled. I called the bakery and canceled my order, and I returned the decorations I bought. Maybe I was the stupid one for organizing all those things beforehand, but I was just so sure that at least a handful of people would like to come/show up. I am just so sad. I've known most of my friends for at least 15 years. I was their bridesmaids, their child's godparent, their maid of honor. I was there at graduation ceremonies and birthday celebrations, and I am truly puzzled. Is it really such a burden to come to my dinner? A dinner which I would have paid in full and which I tried to make it into a beautiful evening/event for everyone. I'm so sad and ashamed that I wasn't even worth a reply message. My boyfriend is trying to cheer me up, and he immediately got busy organizing a surprise birthday evening for me. He is wonderful, and I am just so glad he and my parents care so much about me. Otherwise, I would just feel absolutely worthless. Okay, there is one comment asking, who are these people? I can assure you it's extremely rare to have 15 close friends. OOP, mostly people I went to school or kindergarten with. There are as many as 15 because I invited my friend and additionally their partner. So 6 invitees were actually additional partners. Hope that helps. I mean, there's not much of a reaction I can have here, chat. I feel like we don't know anything. There's something fishy, but we don't know if it's with OP or with this group. I think my main question is how often do they hang out? Or maybe 2? Maybe these people are all out of state and live far away from this person. Although they're bridesmaids, child's godparent, and maid of honor. I mean, that's pretty close. I don't know, chat. This whole thing's fishy. Like, I could see this going either way, where either OP has extremely unrealistic expectations of their friends, or there's a reason why all these friends are kind of in the same boat that they don't want to go to OP's birthday party. Do we have any bold predictions in chat? Because I genuinely don't know. Maybe they're planning a surprise. I mean, I sure hope so, Ma. That would be the wholesome ending that we need here. Although that would also be very cruel to like position that surprise coming from a place that none of her friends wanted to celebrate her birthday. I also think it would be weird that the boyfriend wouldn't be involved. I would at least expect a reply to the invitation. You're right. You're 100% right. The only thing I'm wondering is like maybe OP thinks they're closer to them than they actually are, or there's gotta be a reason that all of them are against OP. Like maybe there's something that OP isn't communicating here that has made them all not want to be friends with them anymore. My intuition is telling me that there's more to this story because there has to be more to the story for them to just not reply. If they just didn't like hanging out with her and didn't want to go to her birthday party, like make up an excuse why you can't go. Update 1 from the same day. I've read every single comment. The comments ranged from compassionate to giving advice or constructive criticism. All in all, reading all of them felt so incredibly uplifting and cathartic. Thank you all. I will continue reading and answering as much as I can and give you any updates. To the people believing I will get a surprise party, I really won't. I think honestly, every one of my friends is in their own bubble and has their own stuff going on and just wasn't feeling it right now, which was definitely hurtful and rude, but at least it didn't feel malicious. About my friends, they are not bad people at all, but they are probably victim to a world where commitment in general is a rare thing to find, where rules and manners are slowly forgotten, and where being constantly busy is good enough to excuse for anything. I found it rude, but I will not confront them, but rather distance myself. They are my friends because in times of crisis, they were there for me, and we share many good memories. However, as many pointed out, you do grow apart, and this behavior might be a result of that. Chat, I don't know why, but this response is a little bit of a red flag to me. I cannot put it into words, but that response feels weird to me. Yeah, a bit too philosophical is a good way to put it. You ever met somebody who can come up with a reason, no matter how far-fetched the reason is, they can always come up with some sort of explanation why something isn't their fault? That's what this feels like. Listen, I could be so wrong, and I do really hope I am, but radars are going off. Oh, this is a perfect way to put it, Zeno. She's playing the martyr. Like, I'm not trying to be that guy. Like, I hope she's not being disingenuous and maybe she just has ass friends, but I feel like there's too many raised eyebrows right now. And this response just raises my eyebrow even further. Thank you guys for helping me sort that out because I genuinely was like, what am I thinking right now? I talked to my boyfriend a lot and showed him some of the responses and he was very reassuring. He told me the fact that I cared so much, that I always try to do things with love and care. That is one of the things he appreciates and loves most about me, and he never wants me to give that up. I also reflected on me and my character, and I will try to do better myself, as I also sometimes forget to reply to a text or cancel a lunch last minute. I will try to put the behavior out there that I would like to receive. I ordered myself a birthday calendar, an address book, and a couple of birthday cards, and I will note every birthday of a friend or acquaintance that I make and send them a birthday card. Many of the comments talked about the hurt they felt when people forgot their birthday and didn't show up, and I find the idea to try to do things differently soothing. I don't know, chat. Maybe I'm a fucking terrible person, but I'm getting the same vibe that we just talked about from this paragraph. I reflected on myself and just realized I didn't want to be that person. So I'm gonna go above and beyond and write down everybody's birthday who I've ever met fucking ever so I can write them a personalized birthday card. Maybe I'm just a cynical ass person, but I don't know. Okay, so downvoted comment from a user. Hard disagree with the majority here. OP, you are 27. That's well beyond being a child and well beyond expecting anyone to care about your birthday. Like, did you attend 15 birthday parties each year for all of these people? You probably did not. Or at least you can sympathize with people who are like, hey, we're in our 20s now. We've all got jobs and chores to do. Can't we just simply hang out? The older you get, the more you need to stop thinking only about yourself. What do other people want to do that you like doing? Maybe next time, arrange something that people would mutually like to do rather than a vanity celebration for something you should have grown out of 20 years earlier. OOP, this comment is quite unfriendly, but I still appreciate that you took the time to comment. I mean, I agree and disagree with this comment at the same time. I agree with this. I kind of disagree with this, I think. That response sounds so AI. I mean, it doesn't even sound AI to me. It sounds dismissive. Well, that's your opinion, but, you know, like, I don't know. It feels like that. I think we just got to keep reading, chat, and see what happens. Update 2. The next day, I followed the advice of basically everyone and asked a few of them what happened and why I wasn't even granted a reply or reaction, especially when I kindly asked all of them to RSVP until a certain date. To all the optimistic people, I have to disappoint you. There wasn't a surprise party planned. Also, all of them use WhatsApp regularly, and all of them saw the invites. The group messages were ticked blue. Now for their responses/explanations. 4 of them had possible alternative plans and couldn't decide if they wanted to go to my party or to commit to other plans. So they just didn't want to say anything until they decided on something. 2 girlfriends didn't have confirmation if their partner could attend or not. So again, they just didn't say anything because they didn't know yet. All the partners were included in the group chat though. 1 said she wasn't feeling too well lately and wanted to decide spontaneously to come. 1 had a valid excuse since she tried to find childcare for her 6-month-old child all week long. She is the only one with a child, and she actually found childcare, so we will be doing something with her and her husband. I told all of them how it made me feel, that it was rude, and that it made me cry and feel unwanted. I also told them that it is their loss, because if they don't appreciate me organizing nice events and evenings, this is not the first time I had issues like this, there simply won't be any for them to attend in the future. They all admitted that their behavior was rude and unfriendly and were apologetic and told me they are sorry. 1 friend said he really messed up, and after he saw I deleted the group, he felt pretty bad and wanted to approach me anyways. It's not ideal, but it is something. Y'all, maybe I'm just a fucking asshole, but like, this line is so ridiculous. I also told them that it is their loss, because if they don't appreciate me organizing nice events and evenings, there simply won't be any for them to attend in the future. Like, maybe I'm an asshole, chat. I will admit it if I am. I will not cut them out as suggested by many. I talk to them, I express my hurt, and I will give them the opportunity to learn from their mistakes and grow. They are flaky in a society that accepts flaky and non-committal behavior. They are human and faulty, and I am also not a perfect human. I know that the answer may disappoint some. I will, however, make room in my life for people who are more reliable and who would be more appreciative and enthusiastic about theme parties, and will not rely too much on my current friends. I don't know, maybe someone's gonna fucking rip me a new one for this, but like, I don't think I could stand OP. This is just a Reddit post, but just from the Reddit post, I'm like, I feel like you're unbearable. Like, I feel like these people may not be telling you the truth here. Wait, hold on, actually, let's see what the comments are saying. Are the comments picking up what we're putting down? Damn, we are not on the same page as the comments though. All the comments are on their side. Chat, am I fucking crazy? Like, I don't want to ever sway you guys, but like, I'm not crazy, right? Like, there's something about the way OP wrote this. There's something about OP's attitude that is driving me fucking crazy. I genuinely don't think I would be friends with OP. Yes, thank you, Glittery Trash Fire. She sounds entitled. I agree with you. Holier than thou energy. Yes, yes. Thank you guys. That is exactly the vibe I'm picking up here. There is 100% a holier than thou vibe from OP that, like, sure, from her perspective, she could do no wrong. Obviously, she's writing it. I would be so curious to see what these friends are saying. I feel like we're cooking here, chat. I feel like, look, never let me sway you guys. If some of you guys are like, no, Sarby, you're not fucking cooking with this, like, speak up. Okay, yeah, let's do a quick little poll. Is Sarby cooking? Yeah, I mean, it seems like a majority of you guys are saying yes. If you're saying I'm not cooking, I totally understand. I'm just getting bad vibes from this post. My boyfriend gets so jealous over his brother's girlfriend that he cries until he vomits. We have a 21 female OP, 22 male boyfriend, 26 male brother of the boyfriend, and a 28 female girlfriend. Original post September 30th, 2020. Before we finish up this last story, if you've gotten this far into the video, that probably means that you're enjoying it. And if that's the case, all I ask is that you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future reading Reddit videos. I upload 2 a week. They're usually 40+ minutes and they go up every Monday and Thursday. On top of that, I have over 110 reading Reddit videos on my channel. So if you're looking for your daily dose of drama, head on over to my channel for hours and hours of reading Reddit stories just like this one. My boyfriend Jake and I are high school sweethearts and share an apartment with his brother Finn. Finn has been seeing a woman named Bonnie for the last 3 months. They met over Tinder, and with certain restrictions lifting, we're finally getting to spend time with her IRL. She's a really great person, and she and Finn are stupidly into each other. Like, accidentally finishing each other's sentences in love, staring at each other with big gooey eyes in love. It's kinda gross, but kinda sweet. A couple days ago, I noticed that Jake's been acting weird. He's been a lot quieter and a bit colder to me, going to bed early, getting up late. I tried to kiss him and he turned away. Yesterday when Finn was out, I asked what was up with him. He started off kinda hostile, but when I said that I was really feeling hurt, he blew up. Summarized, he told me that he was rethinking our entire relationship after listening to his brother talk about Bonnie. He said that Bonnie asked for Finn's preference when she cut her hair and didn't get bangs when he said he thought they looked stupid when I got a pixie without asking Jake what he'd think first. He said that Bonnie gave Finn a blowjob every night before bed and one every morning when he woke up, when I don't really like oral, giving or receiving. He said I never offer to give him massages or pack his lunch. So he's not even like attracted to Bonnie. He's just jealous that his brother has more control over his girlfriend than he does. For clarification, I do things for him all the time, but we've never been lovey-dovey. We don't even celebrate Valentine's Day, his suggestion. We both always agreed it was stupid and unrealistic. In fact, we always used to make fun of people for being sappy and definitely gave Finn hell for a bit over being so gooey. He was crying by the end of it, saying that he felt sick over missing out on someone who would love him that much. I said I loved him, but he didn't want to hear it. He started gagging and threw up a little bit because he was crying so hard. I didn't know what else to do, so I got him some water and went to bed. I went to work early and I've been hanging out at a coffee shop, but I have to go home soon. I have no idea where to go from here or what to say to him. I don't even know if we're still together. Help? Question mark? Just with all of this shit. There is nothing wrong with wanting something in a relationship that at first you didn't think that you wanted. What is wrong is comparing your current relationship with another relationship, especially with some pretty shallow shit. If you want changes in your relationship, you start an adult conversation. You don't go, oh, this is how my brother and his girlfriend do it. You go up to her and you say, hey, remember all that lovey-dovey sappy shit that we don't do? I kind of want to do it. You can say, I saw Finn and his girlfriend do it and I've realized, I would really like that. That's how you present that. But also, that's the only request that I think maybe has merit to it. The blowjob every night and morning, giving him massages, packing his lunch is just like, okay, bro, now you just want your girl to be an object that you own, which in my opinion is just objectively wrong. I'm sorry. If that's how you want to live your life as a woman, sure, all power to you. There's probably a man out there for you. I will sit here and say that is a very sad life to live. If your goal is to be what he wants OP to be, best of luck to you, but you could do better. The caring about the haircut is so controlling. I agree with that. Don't get me wrong. I definitely think you should communicate to somebody. Like, okay, the example I'll give, guys, is like, I am definitely less attracted to girls with like a buzz cut than I am with girls with like long hair. I can't help that. There's like nothing I could do. I just enjoy the femininity of having longer hair. In my opinion, I'm entitled to be attracted to what I'm attracted to. That being said, if I was with someone and I truly loved them and they came up to me and they were like, hey, I really want to get a buzz cut, I would be like, hey, I'm not extremely attracted to that, but I love you enough to where like, go do your thing. I just thought I'd communicate that. And if you still want to do it, all power. I'm pro that. I'm pro communicating that. I'm not pro controlling that. I would never sit there and be like, you can't get a buzz cut because I'm not attracted to that. You're your own person. Do your own thing. You can give a suggestion, but feeling as if they need your permission is a control thing. That is a way better way to put exactly what I just said. B-Bells, thank you. The update, October 3rd, 2020, 3 days later. A few of you asked for the update, so here it is. I'm single. Good choice, OP. Good choice. I came home and Jake was gone. Finn was there and asked if I could sit down for a bit. He wouldn't give me the exact details, but said that he and Jake had talked while I was out. He was showing me a few text messages to prove it. Apparently, Finn had never shared any details with his brother, but Jake had been able to hear them moan through the walls when Bonnie stayed over. Yo, we fucking woo, chat. Beans, red flags in chat for real on that one. It wasn't a bro talk or anything after all, just the man I thought was gonna marry listening to his brother have sex through the walls. Neat. When Finn got home from work, Jake tried joking about it and made comments about Bonnie's race. Finn kicked him out, and now Jake is going to be staying with their parents, so I have to pay his share of the rent too because Finn refuses to let him in and Jake refuses to come back. Double neat. I mean, that's also fucked up of him to demand of OP, because what the hell? A few people had questions, so here we go. Did Jake ever mention wanting romantic gestures? No. We actually got together because we were the only goths in school. We bonded over being against lovey-dovey stuff like that. We grew out of the edgy phase, but yeah. He always was firm, he hated Valentine's Day and women who needed roses or gifts to feel loved. Has he ever done anything like this before? Now that I think about it, yeah. He's thrown tantrums before, but never like this. Things like carry-out orders, forgetting his side dishes, or stores running out of his favorite items always made him really emotional. Why don't you like oral? Bad incident involving Jake's braces left me with some scarring down there. He liked deep throating. 0 out of 10. Ouch and ugh. I feel sorry for Bonnie. I don't know any more details about their relationship, but they seem happy. They work at the same high intensity job, think physical trainers or OT, so she packs meal prepped bento boxes for him and herself. Finn buys her flowers, fixes her car, goes over when spiders get in her apartment. Like I said, they're cute. Someone I'm guessing accused OP of this being fake. Listen, man, that's your right to believe it. Even I think it's fake and I'm the one that has to figure out how to ship 200 Funko Pops to my ex. So there you go. I think OP should be like, I'm not paying double rent. I'm guessing if they can pull that fuckery on OP, there wasn't an official lease. I would just give him the middle finger and move out. That's really fucked up of him to honestly request of OP. Like, they're both in the same bucket here. They both got screwed over by the same person. Why would you be a complete and utter dickhead to like the other innocent person that got caught in the crossfire here? This was posted in r/2x chromosomes. Devastated about my husband's wealthy-ish family's reaction to my first big gift for him. Original post, December 25th, 2024. I come from poverty. It is what it is. I had a very rich childhood in a lot of ways, except financially. Christmas was saved for year round, and we got one thing to wear, one book, and one fun thing. My husband comes from a family that grossed $300K a year, and Christmas was always a massive show off. Each kid had $2,000 plus under the tree easy. My husband and I started dating 5 years ago and have been married for 2.5 years. We've clawed our way up in life. He was not given financial help as an adult, and this year is the first time we can spend some decent money on Christmas. That's crazy, actually. Like, I can't decide if that's like cruel or maybe a little bit cool that like, it sounds like they grew up pretty privileged, but then they were expected as adults to not have that privilege, which like, don't get me wrong, I think makes sense after maybe you get through college, but like, that seems weird to me, chat. That seems like L parenting a little bit. Spoiling your kids for Christmas, but not supporting them as they become an adult and helping push them to success. What a weird parenting style. I think I'd want the opposite. Actually, not even want. That's how I was raised. I'm glad I was raised that way. I think this is an L way to raise your kids. He has been wanting a guitar for some time. He has never played and has expressed interest so many times, but we couldn't do it financially. I did lots of research, and from what I saw, beginner's guitars were $150-ish, and from there went up to around your $5,000 plus guitar for really nice ones. I agonized over what I was going to choose and ended up telling him to cut the budget for me so that I could surprise him with a really nice gift. So I thought. My original budget was $500, but I really wanted to go big or go home. It ended up being around $900 Canadian plus $200 for accessories or so. Being able to spend that amount is just unfathomable for a former poor kid, but I did it because he deserves it. We finally have the means, and I was beyond excited to see his face light up. That's so fucking cute, bro. Like, it's one thing to get someone an expensive gift, but to get them a gift that they've been showing interest in and have been wanting and talking about for such a long time. What a W partner. This makes me so sad because I know it's gonna get ruined. Christmas morning comes and the tree gifts wait until his family arrives. I'm basically giddy at this point with excitement. Our turn comes for couples gifts, and I bring the guitar case out from its hiding place. He's so excited and opens the case, revealing the guitar, and then, oh, thanks, babe. Never heard of this brand. Not the overwhelming joy I was hoping for, but it's not about me, right? First off, fuck you. Like, what a shitty way to react to such a nice, thought out gift. Second, bro, I hate to say it to you, this is somebody who literally has a guitar. You don't need the top brand guitar when you're first starting out, because odds are you're gonna do what fucking happened to me, where you did lessons for a while, you were super passionate about it, and then for some reason you just fell off. You do not need a $5,000 guitar for your first guitar. I think mine was like 500 bucks. So like a $900 guitar is probably really fucking good, bro. That is just so unbelievably disrespectful. I'm actually like so hurt for OP. Like, I would expect this from the parents, not from the husband himself. Damn, his brother says, "Aw, it's nice, a decent cheapy one to start out with." His dad chimes in, having played in his 20s, and says it's known for its lower end models, and they'd be happy to chip in for a nice one next year if he sticks with it. I have never felt such a punch to the gut. I assume I'm overthinking as per usual, but I am still so devastated from this 10 seconds of today, and I can't even really verbalize why. It felt like I was 9 years old again, trying to be excited about my new Aeropostale hoodie with my friend that got a MacBook and a Disney trip for Christmas. I think those comments affected how my husband viewed it too, because he hasn't touched it since, despite wanting it so badly for years. I guess I'm just venting. I feel so small, and I just had to get it out. Here's what I'll say, chat. I know we love to go nuclear here. I don't think this is the case. I think this is you need to sit your husband down and explain to him how much that interaction hurt. I think the husband could be really stupid here and not realize how much this hurt OP. And I would like to say you should give him the benefit of the doubt that he didn't realize how important and how excited this was, even just for you, and how honestly disrespectful his reaction was. I'll say it. And I don't think you can really take action here until you have a conversation with him and see how he reacts. Because if he reacts where he's like, "Oh, you're totally right. That was such a shitty reaction. This was a thoughtful gift. It was an expensive gift that you're not used to. I'm very thankful for it," which might help relieve some of OP's overthinking here. After OP has that conversation, that's when I think it's like, all right, go the nuclear option. If he's like, "Nah, babe, like you're just being dramatic," sure, I'll let you guys fucking shoot off your divorce papers in chat. Until then, I think we need to hear from the hubby. The OP did seem quite taken aback, so this might have been the first time he said something so callous. I agree. I think we just need more info there. I think OP needs a confrontation. Until then, it's a red flag for me. Absolutely, Echo. I did not clarify that. I also think it's a red flag. Some of OOP's comments. Commenter asked, "I'm wondering if maybe your husband had a specific brand of guitar in mind that he wanted and that's why he reacted that way. Not sure if that'll help you feel better, but that was my first thought." OOP, I don't think he did. He's usually pretty forward with things and has never mentioned a specific brand. He's not super knowledgeable about any of it. My dad said the brand is common enough brand. I know his brother does have a Les Paul though, so by comparison, it definitely pales if he is only familiar with the high-end names. Les Pauls are very expensive, very nice guitars. Commenter asked, "What brand did you get?" It's a Guild 2050E. The person I spoke to at the music shop, Canada, said it was a very good choice. He talked me out of the other two options and reassured me of the quality/longevity. I was actually quite shocked he didn't know the brand, even as a non-musician. I mean, I've been out of the guitar game for a while, chat, but I don't know if I know what this guitar is. Oh, they got an acoustic electric. That definitely looked like a nice guitar. The only thing after seeing that, chat, I wonder if it was more about maybe he wanted like an actual electric, but we'll wait for the update for that. Commenter, how does he normally handle the class difference in your relationship? OP, he honestly never mentions it. It hasn't been a huge hurdle. We did struggle to meet in the middle when it came to what is essential versus just wants. Both of us had a skewed idea of that, but I think he had to rough it enough at 21 to 26 to be based in reality 90% of the time. Christmas just seems to be the exception. Commenter, sounds like you're actually devastated about your husband's reaction to the gift, not his family's reaction. OP, I think you're right. I was expecting him to be so excited, and then it just didn't really happen like that in the end. This guitar had been a passing conversation for years. My little sister was also very excited and helped me pick it out, so I think I also felt crushed for her too. Commenter, you cut the budget from your own present, and he agreed? Jesus, that's brutal. You need to think long and hard about potential children being exposed to this toxic materialistic mentality. Regardless of income, those comments were disgusting, but they seem set in their ways. OP, I still think he spent way over budget on me, so I don't know if he actually agreed. I'll give him that. He knows I stress about money endlessly, so I'm assuming he just agreed to make me feel better about wanting to spend more. What he got her for presents. He honestly did. He was very thoughtful. He got me a purse I've been wanting for a hot minute, and quite a few other things that he took note of over the past few months. He definitely went over the new budget, not the same price, but I really and truly am not a gift person, so the thought is 100 times more important to me. Okay, I feel like this is a green flag, right? Like, it sounds like he got her gifts that weren't meaningless. Like, it sounds like he listens to her if he took note of things over the past few months and got those things for her. I'm really hoping this is just a fucky-wucky on the husband's part, and he, I don't know, maybe he just is influenced by his family. Commenter, just an assumption, but even when he had to rough it, did he always have his family to fall back on? As in he wouldn't be homeless or anything? OP, yeah, I suppose our idea of roughing it definitely differed. There has always been the safety net. He was pretty good about not using it and holding his own, but it was definitely still there. He got a taste of normal life because they didn't give him money to start out. He had to get his crappy minimum wage job like the rest of us, save and work up from there. Our collision of worlds has actually been good because he reminds me I deserve new jeans when mine have holes. And I remind him that he doesn't need a new pair of jeans every week. So it's only really when we're with them that he reverts back to this. Okay, this is important. Commenter, will he stand up for you in disagreements with his family about where to live, how you raise your children, against snide remarks from family members? If he doesn't have your back now, he never will. OOP, yes. In other ways, he definitely does. His parents disagree with many things we're doing with our daughter, namely getting 99% of things secondhand, aside from the car seat and mattress, and letting her get dirty, the horror. And he is usually quick to tell them, my kid, my rules. This was not typical behavior, which made it sting a little bit more, I think. Okay, honestly, chat, this sounds like a one-off thing. I think the husband is usually good, and this is a very out-of-character experience that OP is having currently. Me personally, do you guys agree with that? They need a little therapy? Okay, I think everybody needs a little therapy, Frankie, but you're probably right. This isn't divorce-worthy, but she needs to have a serious conversation with him. That's how I felt tonight. As long as the husband wasn't a complete dickhead, I think they just need to have a serious conversation. Update, same post, December 26, 2024, the next day. I spoke with him this morning, trying to be very calm. I'm not confrontational by nature, so I put my anger aside and went into it with patience and grace. I asked if he was upset about the guitar, either the brand choice, the appearance, or something. I told him my feelings were hurt when his family made comments, even if unintentionally, that made it seem like I chose a child's starter instrument or something. I explained that I put a lot of thought and research into the build, the color, everything, so to make sure his first experience with a guitar was very positive. He was shocked to hear that I'd been thinking about it that way. He didn't think twice about what his family said. He apologized for their reaction and his, and explained that his comment about the brand was nothing more than what it seemed. He'd never heard of the brand, that's all. He said he loved it and was caught up on the craziness of Christmas, which is why he hadn't played it yet. It eased my mind a lot. I guess I'm just used to over-the-top reactions in my family. I think I'm still disappointed after a month's worth of excitement building was slashed pretty quickly, but at the end of the day, knowing he likes it makes their opinion mean a lot less. I hope the husband's being genuine. I actually think there is a chance maybe the husband isn't being as genuine, but based off of what we heard, I'd like to give it the benefit of the doubt that this was truly the case, that he didn't even realize that the wife was affected by this, or his reaction, while maybe wasn't the best reaction, it had no malice to it. Yeah, I'm glad we didn't, I don't know if I can say we, but I'm glad I didn't jump to the divorce conclusion, because I truly think this ended as best as it could. It was just a misunderstanding and they needed to communicate. I don't know, maybe his tone was off with her, but good ending. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel Black Beauty. It's still a little bit like, hey man, like you could have shown more excitement, but humans have their bad days. I like to think there are a lot more occasions than not where humans are just having off days. They're not thinking about other people's feelings and there are misunderstandings. People just in general need to have more awareness around certain situations, and you can't expect people to have that awareness all the time. Fiancée used my childhood trauma to win a video game. Original post, January 7th, 2025. I don't even know how to type this or explain my thoughts right now, so I apologize if I seem scattered. I, 31 male, have been engaged to my fiancée, 29 female, Emily, for the past 3 months, together for 2 years. She has been the only relationship where I felt safe enough to open up and discuss my past trauma. Many nights I have cried into her arms, and she has been there for me to comfort me. She goes to therapy with me and has been a rock in our relationship. I've been getting much better since I have really opened up about it and have been able to live a better and liberating life the past 2 years until last Saturday. Emily is ultra competitive, not just in sports, but in life. She will do whatever it takes to win and be number one. She has lost friendships, family relationships, jobs, and money. She understands this and has been trying to get better by going to therapy, stating she doesn't know why she is like this. She seemed to cool down over the summer, but she is still very competitive. Even her parents have no idea because they were not athletes and have never pushed her to be number one. And her siblings are confused when this all started. I was a former college athlete and yes, I am competitive, but not so much anymore. And recently my friend group have begun a monthly game night. I was on a 4-month win streak. We play board games, old video games, painting, basketball, and even football. And it was all in good fun. But Emily last month was so angry she did not win, she walked home and did not want to talk to me for at least 2 days. Before we left for game night, I asked her to please have fun, and it does not matter who wins. She promised she would try. As game night came to an end, Emily and I were tied with one more event. Rules are, if it is man versus woman, the lady chooses the final game. She selected N64 Mario Kart. I am king of that game. I never lose. I asked her if she really wanted to do that, and she called me a chicken and was big talking she will beat me at my own game. I should have backed off, but I caved and we raced. Now, common knowledge is let her win, and trust me, I thought about it, but she gets really angry if she thinks you let her win. Her attitude is way worse then. As we started racing, it was a tight race. She kept hitting the banana peels, but she kept catching up. The last lap, she started trying to distract me by saying, "He snores when he sleeps." Basic middle school insults. Then she tries bumping me to distract me, but I was locked in, focused. I responded back, "At least I don't keep hitting the bananas, love." Very simple and fun. We are in the final leg of the race, and that's when she snapped. At least I didn't get SA'd by my own family. Yo, wow. I don't know what I was expecting, but it was not that. She didn't cross the line. She fucking dropped a nuclear bomb on the line. That is ridiculous. I froze up and dropped the controller, and she passed me and won. She was jumping up and down with joy, was screaming and dancing that she finally won. From what my friends told me later, that she kept that up for a good while until she saw my face, and that's when she stopped. My friends were in complete shock, asking me if it was true. I could not speak. I couldn't breathe, and I was fighting back all the inner demons I had swirling in my head. I simply got up and wished them a good night and started walking. I was in a trance. I didn't know where I was walking to. Emily tried calling and texting me, asking where I was, begging for me to call and come home, kept saying she is sorry, just wanted to win so badly, and don't know why I said that. I simply needed space, and I told her to please stop calling me. I don't know what to do. I love this girl and trusted her, but she used that trust to win an effing video game. My friends are asking me about my past and won't leave me alone. I guess all I'm asking, is there any way back from this, or is this the end? Do I dump her or try and work this out? Any advice would be very helpful. Oh my god, poor OP, bro. That is actually just the craziest shit I've ever read. I know this might kind of offend some people, but if you are overly competitive about stupid shit, I think it's such a red flag. If you are this competitive about shit, there's something wrong with your brain. Unless you're like a pro athlete making money off of competitive shit, you need to chill the fuck out. If y'all are playing a board game or a video game and you can't lose and just be like, all right, whatever, fuck it, like, does not matter in the grand scheme of things, there's something wrong with you. The devil works hard, but Emily works harder. I was already thinking wee woo red flag right off the rip when he was like, oh, we'd been dating for 2 years and now we're 3 months engaged. That's too fast for me, bro. Maybe I'm not cooking here, chat, but I think there's at least a 4-year minimum on proposal, because anything before that, you don't have all the information. Exhibit A, this story. Knowing knowing that this person you're about to get tied to legally for the rest of your life would use the most traumatic moment of your life to win a video game. You can't get all that out in 2 years. Here's my gun and I'm sticking to this shit. Honestly, bro, you're not that deep in it. I think this is gonna take an insane amount of work to heal from. I'd chop it at the knees. I would get the most insane ick if I trusted somebody with my deepest, darkest, not only secret, but trauma, and they not only exposed it in front of our friends, but then also exposed it just to win a stupid video game. At least I didn't get SA'd. Just those words by themselves in any context. Why the fuck would you think that's an appropriate thing to come out of your mouth? Okay, so OP added an edit to that post. I want to thank everyone for their comments and DMs. I've been reading all of them for the past 3 hours. I guess I knew this was the end of this relationship, but after spending 2 years with someone and had strong feelings and trust, I wanted to see if a majority of people could see something else that I didn't, and that could save it. And reading the comments, I guess I overlooked the massive red flags that Emily had. I decided to sit down with my friend group tonight and tell them my past. It will be difficult, and I will text Emily tonight and meet with her tomorrow. I will update tomorrow after that conversation. All right, and here's the update on the same post, January 9th, 2025, 2 days later. I wanted to thank everyone again for all the support. It helped me clear up my head and really reflect the past few months with Emily and finally see the red flags I ignored or didn't press hard enough on. First of all, I needed to get this off my chest. From ages 11 through 13, I was SA'd by my aunt. She would come over to babysit and she would do the deeds and have me do stuff to her. She would threaten me if I ever spoke out. I tried to tell my parents if she could not babysit, but my mother told me that her sister absolutely loves you and wants to spend time with you since she can't have children. If it wasn't for my dad forgetting his wallet one night, I believe she wouldn't have been caught. Damn. Now knowing the backstory, that's even more insane to make a joke about that. To use that against him to win a fucking video game. My mom went mental and did not believe any of it and went on the campaign tour around town saying she is 100% innocent and I am just confused. My dad went into the bottle and tried to enter the shadow realm because he couldn't forgive himself for missing the signs. My mom then threatened me to make an announcement that her sister is not a predator and then attacked me. My dad divorced my mom and she and my aunt moved elsewhere. All these years later, she truly believes her sister didn't do the deeds. My dad and I are okay. He does not want to be around me much because of the guilt. Holy shit. I just don't see how you hear that and can ever think, oh, I'm going to use this against them to win a video game. I just want to give OP a hug. That is terrible. Second, I met with my friends and told them my story and they all apologized and promised to help protect me in the future with relationships. They told me what happened after the event. Emily was trying to defend herself by claiming, I did not mean to say it. He took it the wrong way. I just needed to win this. I love him and didn't mean it. She has been calling all of them, begging for them to please help her win me back, and she will do whatever it takes and see anyone to help her with her condition. Meeting today with Emily. My friends invited her over and would sit in the other room while we talked. Emily was unhinged, came flying into the house trying to hug me, but my friends held her back and told her to just sit. I asked her why she said what she said. Emily, I don't know. I just needed to win so badly. I followed up with why she needed to win this one. Emily, because it was your best game and I don't know. I just needed to win. I again asked why she needed to win. What was the importance of winning? Emily, through her tears, I don't know. I needed to win. She kept repeating the same line over and over. So I asked if she had planned on using my trauma against me and if that is why she chose Mario Kart. I never seen someone go white so fast. Emily just looked at me and put her hands on her face and blurted out, I can't stand not winning and I knew you would get distracted and I could win and finally feel great. Because these past 4 months, I've been so depressed from feeling like a loser and knew I could win with this plan. Chat, I'm fucking breaking. My whole brain is breaking from trying to process this. What the fuck? So let me get this straight. Homegirl is like, I'm so depressed and feel so much like a loser. Oh, you know how I could feel better and feel like a winner? Beat my boyfriend in a video game by using the most traumatic thing that ever happened to him ever. Ah, yes, that will make me feel better. Yeah, put this shit in Am I the Devil, because holy fuck. Is that the title of the video, chat? Updated Reddit stories that belong in r/Am I the Devil. These two stories make me so sad. I was in shock and couldn't believe she said that. I realized that some of the commenters were right. She had this planned. I am still trying to gain control of my thoughts on this one. You had this planned? I asked. Emily, yes. I didn't think about what would happen after, and when I saw your face, I knew I messed up. Please, I want to get help and will do anything. Please don't end this. I asked if this was another competition in her head to win me back. No, I mean, in a way, yes, but not like that. So if you win me back, you'll feel better that you won. I told her I can't trust her anymore. What if we had kids? Will you see them as competition? This is exactly what I was thinking, chat. I was like, yo, if this is how she goes through life, I can't imagine a life if they have kids together. Not only in how she'll raise them, but then how she'll compete with them. If your friends are being flirted with, will you try and get more attention for the win? What if I am simply doing something and you blurt that out again to win? She had to be escorted out by my friends and was told by one of them I should get a restraining order because her mental of losing you may break her mind and do whatever it takes to win me back. So again, thank you to everyone for all the comments. I am going to get more help and take a break from dating until I find someone who I can trust 100%. And now my friends will be on extra guard for any Emily sightings and future dating red flags. I just can't do anything but shake my head, chat. Okay, focus on the positives. Focus on the positives. He ended it. Big dubs. Relationships with his friends seem really good. And if anything, like, now that they know this, they're very respectful of it and very supportive. That's a big dub. Big L's. This woman might kidnap you to try to make sure that you stay with her. Oh God. That story took years off my life, chat. I saw my husband and my sister naked in my kitchen. This story does have a brand new update, and the original recap post, I guess, is from October 19th, 2022. I can't move. If I move, it becomes real, and I have to accept what I saw and think of what's next. I came home from work early and saw my sister's car, thinking maybe she was dropping off some food from her job, but no. I walk in and see my husband and sister naked in my kitchen. The kitchen I paid for. As soon as I registered what I saw, I got into my car and left. I kept driving, just driving, until I found the hotel I'm at now. I don't want to believe it. I don't know what to do. My sister, my only family, and my best friend, the one who's supposed to be there for me and support me, my husband, my person, my other half, the one who's supposed to love and respect me. The two most important people in my life have ruined everything. I blocked them both on my phone. I don't want to hear any of the bullshit excuses they'll come up with. I don't want to confront this. I want to go back to this morning when everything was fine. Hold on, let me just do this relevant comment just to wrap it up. Commenter, the my only family part is what hit me hard. I'm so sorry, OP. OOP, yeah, we cut contact with our abusive parents 7 years ago. Thought we were supposed to have each other's backs always. I mean, obviously cheating is bad, but this just somehow makes it immensely worse, bro. Chat, can you imagine the two people in your life that you trust the most breaking your trust to this degree? I can't lie, a part of me wants her to unblock them so that we can hear their bullshit excuses, because I want to know how they're gonna justify this or what the story is behind this. Don't get me wrong, but like another part of me is like, dude, this poor girl. Yeah, like how would that happen? That's what I'm wondering. People get lucky. Like, how do you stumble upon hooking up with your partner's sibling? Update 1, October 21st, 2022, 2 days later. I didn't think I needed to explicitly say this, but by naked, I meant they were butt naked and fucking in the kitchen. I admit mentioning that I paid for the kitchen was odd and kind of funny, but anyone that knows me knows that the kitchen is my pride and joy. So yes, when I saw my sister and husband fucking in my kitchen, it stuck with me. And yes, they did see me. When I got to the hotel, I cried for a few hours, and then I just wanted to tell someone, anyone. The two people I would talk to when something happened in my life were the two I needed to talk about, and it was 11 something in the evening, so I wasn't going to disrupt my friends' evenings and burden them. So instead, I came to Reddit thinking not many would see it. The response I received was overwhelming. I want to say thank you to everyone that sent me kind words and advice. Thank you so much for all the virtual hugs. I know I only commented once. It's because I had so much to think about and do. I appreciate all the love and support. There was so much amazing advice given in the comments. Although a lot of it was American-based, I still appreciate it. But one thing I did see a lot was to unblock them and keep the texts and calls as evidence, so I did do that. Oh, that's actually really fucking smart. I didn't even think about that. They're probably incriminating themselves as they speak. After posting in another good cry, I knew that I had to get my shit together. I didn't have my sister or any family to help, so I had to do it myself. I started researching what my next steps were. In the morning, my friend called me saying my sister contacted her, wondering if I had been in contact with her. I told her what happened, and she very kindly offered her spare room and her day off work to help me sort stuff out. I called in sick at my job, and my friend helped get things done. I got in contact with my friend who works at a bank, and she helped me start sorting my financials. My friend also found me a lawyer to consult with. After my phone consultation with the lawyer, I was so overwhelmed. I know now why so many women don't divorce their cheating husbands. It's such a lengthy, expensive, and emotionally draining process. I, fortunately, make a stable income and can support myself, and we, fortunately, do not have kids. I have to remember that things aren't going to happen in one day. It will all take time. As for the house, unfortunately, his parents did buy it for us, and to be honest, after what I saw, I don't want it. I will try to get reimbursed for my beloved kitchen, otherwise it can burn for all I care. This has been super draining, but I knew I had to talk to them. I already knew there was no coming back from my husband, and when I checked his messages, they were exactly what I thought they would say. I'm sorry, it's not what it looks like, we didn't mean for it to happen, please come home, I love you, blah, 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 just absolute bullshit. A small part of me thought maybe I could find it in me to forgive my sister as we only have each other, but after I opened her messages, all hope was lost. She used the same excuses we heard our father use when he cheated on our mother and beat us. She said the same things our mothers would say when she would excuse our dad's behavior and also beat us. I spoke to her this morning and asked her to tell me straight up who, what, where, when, and why. She told me back in July when I went on a girls' trip, she was at our house and joked to my husband that I would cheat on him on the girls' trip because that's what always happens. He said nah, and they joked about it, but she said he could get even with me, and they ended up doing it once. I can't tell if I'm more mad at the husband for falling for that or the sister for embedding that into his brain. That's wow, chat. One time led to 2 to 3, then to whenever they could do it. There was never any evidence or signs or anything that I was going to or even thinking of cheating. I told her we were done and there's nothing she could do to bring us back together. I later received a call from an unknown number. It was my mother, who I haven't spoke to in 7 years. Turns out my sister has been in contact with her and told her what happened, and my piece of shit mother, the same woman who beat me for breathing wrong, had the audacity to say this is what I get for taking her daughters away from her. Oh my god. I know it's wrong, but I want them to pay. I really do, chat. All this is evil. Everyone in OP's life is evil except for this one friend helping them. Who needs enemies when you have family like this, for real? It hurts so much. I know things are going to get messy, and this is going to be a long few years. I've now lost all my blood relations. I need to get all my shit and find a new place. I want to show them that I can and I will thrive without them. Again, thank you all from the bottom of my heart for all the love and advice. All the people in the comments that could relate to me, I am so sorry. A commenter asked, out of curiosity, have you asked his parents if they knew what was going on? This will give them the opportunity to hear what actually happened rather than the lies he'll tell to cover his bad behavior. OOP, as soon as I started receiving messages from his mother, I knew he had been feeding them a false narrative. She's been calling me names for bringing my cheating backside and my slutty sister into his life. What? She never liked me because of my background, and I thought I should forgive my mother. Unfortunately, all I'll hear from them is the bullshit he's told them. Okay, so he's probably telling his mom that OP cheated first, and then he's cheating with her sister to get back at OP. I mean, that wasn't any better, low-key. I honestly feel worse after that first update. Wow. I can't believe she was actually thinking about forgiving the sister. There's no coming back from that. There really isn't. And even further from what she said, that I can't even begin to think about how I would pick my life back up after this shit. Like, dead ass, if life kicked me in the teeth like this, I would be down for months, bro. The recovery after 2 days to get your shit in gear is honestly commendable. I genuinely could not. Hales try to fuck his dad. You know, I'm very pro this, actually. I hope OP gets some sort of revenge. Update 2, August 5th, 2023, 9.5 months later. Redditor. I had to meet with my ex to talk about the house, and he kind of gave up, and we decided to sell the house. I was reimbursed for my beloved kitchen. At first, my sister would show up at my job and my friend's house, but once I told her that I would get the police involved, she stopped. I haven't seen her since February. I did hear from my pathetic excuse of a mother again, but that was also shut down, and I have not heard from her since the end of last year. I'm from New Zealand, so my ex and I have to be living separately for 2 years before we can divorce. Although I want nothing to do with him, I'm not too fussed. 1 year is almost done. I started therapy, which has been healing. I wish I had gone earlier. I have moved into my apartment and I was promoted at work. I have also gone on 2 girl trips and had to have some extra fun these times as I was a single woman. And I've also just started seeing someone. He has been very kind. Thank you again for your kindness. Hope this is the update you were waiting for. All right, okay. There's definitely been worse updates, chat. New Zealand for that law, though. That's a pretty shitty law. Like, can you imagine somebody destroys your reality as hard as OP's had their reality destroyed, and you still have to deal with them for 2 fucking years? You still have to be legally tied to them for 2 goddamn years? I cannot imagine that. New Zealand needs to change that. New Zealand is not cooking with that rule. That's fucking awful. The question that I was wondering, because OP wasn't very clear, are the sister and the husband still together? That's what I want to know. Not that it really matters, but it's like, yo, was this actually worth fucking up your marriage for? Alrighty, chat. Finally, the long-awaited new update titled Officially Divorced. January 15th, 2025, 17 months later. I am officially divorced. It took a while, but I got there, and my ex-husband had 2 years to accept it and not fight it. I've got my own house, a nice kitchen, a cute, mature man on my arm, friends who treat me like a sister should, and a job that respects me. I'm happy and couldn't care less where my biological family are and what they're doing. I am enjoying the wonderful summer we are having in New Zealand and living my life. Thank you all for the support. All the best. And they did attach a little image here for us. Oh, must be nice. There was a commenter saying, wished we heard more about the ex, like he's an unemployed drunk now or something, or the sister like she had a bad reaction to some shampoo and all her hair fell out. Oh, well. And then OOP replied, no idea where my sister is, but my ex is just a working loner loser. Okay, so I'm guessing that he didn't stay with the sister, which I really do hope bad things happen to bad people, you know? I really am glad OP's doing great, but I wish there was something where they got real consequences to their actions. It's times like these when I hope karma is real and those people got some real bad karma coming their way. This is my front gate. The crab blocking my exit is the only known terrestrial hermit crab in West Africa. It is pretty rare. It is the only way to get out of my house. Please send coffee. This was posted in r/well that sucks. Original post was January 1st, 2025. The post is a photo of a hermit crab stuck in the locking mechanism of a gate. And here's the photo. I can't even tell from this picture like where it is. It said it's in the locking mechanism of the gate. Apparently this is the locking mechanism of the gate and Redditors are gonna help them get it out. So some of the comments, we have a commenter who says, try some bait to get it to move. OOP, thought about that, but they are mostly nocturnal. In my caffeine-deprived, hangover-induced haze, I poured water over it, hoping it would budge. Then it hit me. It's a crab. Water isn't going to do anything. These little terrors roam the streets with evil intent, hell-bent on ruining the start of a new year before scuttling back to the sea to do whatever unholy crab business they do. Other commenters suggest various ways to remove the crab, but nothing works, and OOP refuses to do anything that might harm the crab. Good on OP for that. Then we learn a little bit about where OOP lives. Commenter, well, it's gonna have to move before the postie arrives. OOP, we have no addresses. Trust me, we don't have a postman. All right. I don't know how Western Africa works, but interesting. Another commenter asked, where do you live and what is your government or lack of like? It sounds interesting. Not even a drink and drive law? No post? Is it a small island? Are there even police? Is it just locally claimed? I have so many questions. OOP, the island is called Sao Tome. Fuck. Every day I go live and I read stories, it really tests my ability to fuck up names of foreign people, places, things. The island is called Sao Tome and Principe. I probably butchered that. Fuck it. We're keeping on. It's right on the equator in the Gulf of Guinea. It is the most beautiful place I've ever visited in my life. It's about 1,000 kilometers squared. You're right, right, Nina? We could just Google it quick. That's a great point. Let's just look it up. Are you kidding me, chat? Yo, sign me the fuck up. I'm trying to live there. I mean, shit, I'm guessing we only get the cool photos, but like, damn. Who's trying to go on a vacation? It's an independent country and the second smallest in Africa. Commenter, had anyone climbed that vertical looking mountain? I looked up pictures. It is sure is gorgeous. OOP, it's a volcano with the outside worn away. With a Wikipedia link. Oh, yeah, we saw that. That's a volcano? I didn't even register that that was a mountain. It seems too, like, steep. Why is it so phallic shaped? OOP, believe it or not, Sao Tome grows the finest chocolate and coffee in the world. However, it is impossible to get an iced coffee in any shop that's not in one of the few hotels. I crave them. Some Redditors look up the critter in question. Commenter, in Googling your crab, I found an international site, GBIF, that has a map with geo-referenced sightings of it. There are only 35 marked. They'd probably love to record your sighting. Looks like you can do it online. There's also a photo of one in the exact same shell as yours. Commenter, iNaturalist is pretty good too. Okay, so they're just nerding out over here. OOP posts a banana for scale photo of the same hermit crab with a banana held next to it. All right, so bro's a little guy. That is also a very oddly shaped banana. That's probably the bananas that haven't been pumped full of GMOs and shit. This is how a banana's supposed to look, probably. Okay, so OOP said, update. Night is falling and my nemesis remains steadfast. Its head jammed in the locking mechanism like it's solving a puzzle only crabs can understand. I tried luring it out with a piece of fish. It remained immobile and then went back to whatever evil plan it's cooking up in that tiny crustacean brain. At this point, I'm half convinced it's not stuck at all. It's just trolling me. My options are dwindling and I'm starting to wonder if this is how my life plays out. Held hostage by a crab with zero respect for my hangover or basic human need to leave the house. I love this bit that this crab is like ruining this poster's life. Like, I'm here for it. And then they posted another update about 14 hours later. For everyone who's been messaging me about my epic battle with the hermit crab that had me trapped in my own home, here's the long-awaited update. Photo of OOP holding the hermit crab. Both are inside OOP's home. Oh, wow, that's a fuzzy bitch. Look at those fuzzy-ass legs, bro. Hermit crabs are so goofy. Did y'all have hermit crabs as pets? I always wanted a hermit crab as a pet so bad my parents wouldn't let me get one. I'm jealous. After a grueling standoff that tested my patience, ingenuity, and caffeine levels, I have finally emerged triumphant. Gandalf the crab has been safely removed from his self-appointed post as Gatekeeper of Doom. A photo of the defeated but unharmed adversary is included for your viewing pleasure. Let it be known, I did pass. Commenter, how'd you get him out? OOP, I managed to evict Gandalf by patiently waiting for him to reveal his claws, then gently pulling him free from the mechanism. Like Frodo with the One Ring, it required equal parts courage, timing, and sheer stubbornness. Thankfully, no eagles were needed for the rescue. This is such a nerdy comment, but I understood every single bit of it because I've seen the Lord of the Rings movies like 8 times. All 3 of them 8 times. Can't just watch one. It's illegal. You gotta watch all 3 of them. Commenter, did you legit just stand at your fence staring at him for hours until he moved? OOP, pretty much. However, I quickly worked out he was sensitive to light and vibration, which caused him to pull into his lair. So I used a red light filter on my headlamp and stood very quietly waiting for his pincers to emerge, at which point I gently pulled him out. Commenter, how long did your legendary standoff last and what happens now to Gandalf the crab? OOP, the legendary standoff lasted a grueling 14 hours, a true test of wills between man and crustacean. As for Gandalf, he's now enjoying a peaceful retirement in the garden, complete with a piece of coconut by his side in case he's hungry after the battle. I've also sealed off his regular haunt with paper, ensuring he doesn't reenact the 2 towers by staging a comeback. That went 0 to really nerdy real quick. That was cute. I mean, it's not a normal story that we would read, but I'm just reading it for the top 15 most upvoted video. Very wholesome. Enemies to friends. Enemies to lovers? No, that'd be weird, actually. Just kidding. Pretend I didn't say that, chat. 2 years ago, I bought 5 Australian classic cars cheap for sale from the widow of a deceased backyard collector. The widow has died, and now the grandson has threatened to sue as he wanted the cars. Grandson is a lawyer. Original post, December 15th, 2018. I'm close friends with a coworker and we've helped his mother in her 80s with house maintenance. His mother's neighbor, I'll call her Elaine, was in her 90s in 2016 when Elaine's husband, who was in a home, died. While doing maintenance on my coworker's mother's house, I drove there in my 1975 Falcon, and Elaine came out to ask me to have a look at some cars I might like that belonged to her husband. I won't go into detail except 3 were in good drivable condition and worth a decent figure, and 2 more were ruined but had good car parts. At the time, I couldn't afford anywhere near what they were genuinely worth. 2 are at least in the top 5 desirable Australian classics. I told her what they could fetch on the open market, but she was happy to take $5,000 for all 5 cars, well under their value. She wanted to make sure they went to someone who would appreciate them, and I paid for and collected them a week later, and I still have 3 good ones. 2 now on historic registration and the other in storage. Elaine passed away in the middle of this year, and her grandson is on the warpath over the cars. He's found my contact details and phoned me several times, threatening to sue for effectively stealing the cars from his grandmother, and has turned up at my front door once demanding the return of the cars. I've not been served or received anything in writing from him in a legal sense, only his business card, which sounds dodgy. I verified he's an actual lawyer, as he claims through a website of his employer, which lists him with photo as specializing in commercial and insurance law, just like his business card. I'd have expected if there was a real legal issue with the ownership of the cars, it would be in relation to the grandmother's estate proceedings, and I'd be contacted by mail by someone acting as executor, not via phone calls and doorstop visits by one angry smug bastard acting like it's happening between me and him alone. Since I'm not a lawyer and my presumptions could be completely out, I'm posting here. If need be, I could now afford the market price of all the cars. Is the grandson likely to have a case, and should I find a lawyer of my own? I mean, as long as they went through the and granted, I don't know shit for shit about Australia, but as long as they went through all the proper channels, OP should be fine, right? It's just more of the messiness and the headache of having someone try to sue him. I'm almost curious, guys. I kind of want to read the relevant comments really quick, because I think that's going to be where we're going to get the best legal advice. Not a lawyer, but if Elaine's husband left them to her in his will, she was free to do with them as she pleased. Ergo, the grandson has no claim. He'd be banking on your uncertainty of that to strong-arm you into cutting a deal. Don't ignore any official summons or claims, but you can safely tell him to sod off over the phone. If you want to get really petty, you can contact his law firm and complain about him. But as long as he wasn't saying that his employer was in any way involved, it's none of their business. So they could tell you, cool. So what? OOP replied to that, thanks, banking on my uncertainty is a good way to describe the vibe I'm getting from him. He's not exactly throwing his law firm's name around, but it is on the business card he gave me. OOP on what the cars are. Yeah, I'm not a car guy, so this doesn't mean anything to me. I'm sorry if you care about cars and you wanted me to read that. I'm not gonna do that. I mean, she would have had to own the title to the cars, right? I mean, as long as they do cars similarly to how they do it in Australia and he did everything legal, those cars should legally be his, no matter how much he paid for them. Maybe Australia is different, but update here. So the title is Update on the Lawyer Grandson Threatening Legal Action Over Cars I Bought from His Grandmother. He's a real lawyer, but he lied about being her grandson. December 28th, 2018, 13 days later. I spoke with my coworker about the issue and he talked with his mother, who clued me in to her neighbor, Elaine, from my previous post, not having any grandsons. My coworker's mother is still in contact with Elaine's son and daughter, as they own and still work on Elaine's old house next door. She put them in contact with me. They wanted to know who it was who was actually threatening what about the cars, as Elaine has no grandsons, and we spoke. They identified the lawyer's grandson as an old ex. He was once a partner of, but not married to, one of Elaine's granddaughters for a few years. He's also known to be in a lot of debt, which might explain desperate hunting for valuable items. Elaine's son and daughter reiterated that their dad had left instructions to Elaine for the cars to go to someone who'd cherished them, and they were happy they did. And glad to hear from me that they're still being looked after together. I haven't contacted the faux grandson's law firm yet. I have a lot of evidence of his misrepresentations to me, and after Googling NSW law, I'm not 100% sure of the legality of all of it, especially about sharing my home security and dash cam recordings directly to the other firm, or even speaking directly to them. I'll go through my own legal representation there as a filter on what I need to give them to make sure they know of his behavior linked to their firm. Small update. Fake grandson came around twice more. I now have multiple recordings of him visiting my residence, threats via text, and many phone calls to me after I asked him to not contact me again except in writing. Complaints have been made through my lawyer to his firm and relevant regulatory bodies. I informed him of the complaints on Thursday and reiterated not to contact me again, and I haven't heard a peep from him since. Last update, fake grandson had already been dismissed from the firm before my lawyer and I complained, and he already has complaints against him for other reasons. We love it. Happy ending. Bro, the audacity though of trying to lay claim over something that the only connection you had was you dated the granddaughter once. That's fucking crazy. Impersonating a relative must be a criminal offense, right? Nightshade said it. It's fraud. It's just dead ass fraud.